Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream. Sorry I was delayed again. So, made a little bit of a joke on the Discord before going live that when life hands you chaos, maybe you're eating grapes. But no grapes have been had, just, life difficulties which crop up from time to time, but everything's alright in case you guys are worried. So, right, yesterday on the stream, we really didn't get as much done as I would have liked, mostly because there's a lot of dialogue with going back to the round table hold and venturing into the beginnings of Liurnia. And what did we do? Obviously, we did the stuff with Nefeli Lu and the village of the Albinorix. I still need to talk to Vare. Why is it so yellow here? What time of day is it? Evening. Okay. And then... Oh, yeah. We talked to Patches, Raya, Blackguard. That's what took a chunk of time. We still need to meet Dialos. Didn't realize they put the finger reader crone thing there. And I'm pretty sure we gave Raya the pendant. Yeah, she must be gone. Wait, why isn't Blackguard marked? No, he is. I'm just blind. Raya should be here, but she's gone. Okay. So, right. We'll just continue on from there. I think I'm going to see if Nefeli did manage to show back up here, which... I wonder if it's because I summoned her for the Omen Killer fight that she doesn't continue to cry down here. And she may have already returned to the Round Table Hold to be crestfallen at Gideon's actions, I suppose. So, even though I just said I'm going to go see Vare next, I just realized that I should probably find the so-called Albinoric woman and go visit Latenna before I forget about that, since we did everything with Albus already. So, hope you're all doing well. So we have Without Horns, Red Knight, Quasi Dingo, Inigo Montoya, and MK back in the stream. How's it going for you all? Oh yeah, and I guess I don't really have much of a reason to come back to the Albinoric village after this. But I do want to try to remember to come back and show off the sleep crabs that are on the one edge of this. I was like, what are these? Oh, just online notes. Okay. Get some crystal buds because we're in Liurnia. I always have a little bit of difficulty remembering where exactly the entrance of her cave is without a map reference. Oh, I think it's further this way, isn't it? Like over there. Is it really that far south? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Galamoth, I just started. I had some real-life things preventing me from coming online earlier, unfortunately. So, I will try to make up for it by staying on a bit longer than I normally do. And I'm not nearly as exhausted as I was yesterday, so I should be able to make that a reality. And Stephen Weatherby, nice to see you. Hope everyone's successfully staying unspoiled. Yeah, that is the difficult thing to do at the moment, because Red Bull had their stream earlier today. It sounded like, for the most part, a lot of it was the base game stuff, and then they showed off the DLC, and maybe it was like one dungeon, which somebody may have strayed from the little bit of the rumors that I've heard. I don't want to find out too much more. But I was avoiding the stream myself, just to stay a little bit more unspoiled. So yeah, this is the cave that we'll need to access to get to Latenna, and I don't remember if there's any significant treasures here. Oh, I remember the thing that I was forgetting in Limgrave. I wanted to go to the, what's it called? The cave at the very north to get the water... The Blue Fairy Dancer charm. So I felt like I was forgetting something to do in Limgrave. Now I finally remembered. Only took another cave. I didn't think I could visceral these. But after hearing the sound effect, I got a little bit curious. I'm gonna die to snails. So yeah, snails in this game are really weird because they're more snake-like than traditional snail-like. Well, they're about 50-50 because snakes don't really have shells. So, anyway. It's a lot easier to show it off with like a free cam or something where you can see their forked tongues and whatnot. I'm pretty sure there's no illusory walls in this cave in particular. Some random weapons. Okay. Hold on, I need to like adjust my settings here. My screen seems extra dark for whatever reason. Okay, that should be a little bit better for me at least. I wasn't talking about my game screen, by the way. All right, MK says it's 5 a.m. here in Europe. You'll fall asleep soon, but until then, watching some LP lore through. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. No, I wasn't trying to take the night off. Like, if I ever do take the night off, I like to give you guys some notice so you're not just, like, sitting around at 10 p.m. Eastern, scratching your heads, wondering where I'm at if I, like, fell off a bridge in real life and succumbed to gravity. Stuff like that. Oh, Lord. Hey, why did these ones die in one hit? Maybe they're smaller. Golden Rune, tier 5. Red Knight said, you assume I didn't watch the Red Bull event? All you gotta say is the first 2 hours were trash, like awful trash. Like gimmick challenges that were unbearable to watch. I feel pretty bad for them in that case. Like, to get people that hyped only for them to get pissed off at an event that you're trying to make to, like, have a good time. Just, it sucks. I feel like... The organizers are one thing. I think it's fine to be a little bit frustrated at them. I just feel bad for the content creators who are put into that position to try to, like, make it more entertaining. Maybe they should have done a little bit better at managing expectations as to, like, the scheduling of events. Because I know a lot of people assumed that they were going to cover, like, a lot more DLC stuff than they did at the beginning. So hopefully it wasn't too unbearable. But I know you guys are, like, doubting whether they were even going to start to show off DLC stuff, I guess. Because it was that rough, apparently. But so, now when we go into the inner part of this cave, we will face a Bloodhound Knight. I don't remember if this dude has a name. I'm going to pull up my HUD for a second. Spear Talisman's here. Okay. Galamoth caught a little of that stream. People thought he might get in trouble, but you don't think he did? Oh, the dude who showed off, like, a little bit more than the dungeon. From what I heard, it may have been an accident, which is kind of funny, but yeah. And 2 middle fingers, welcome back to the stream. And Clown Scum and Mercy. Make sure I mute Shirako and Boss Fight Database if I don't want spoilers. I don't even know who Shirako is. They played a chunk of audio videos everyone's already seen. It was weird. I heard some people making fun of how the, okay, this one doesn't have a name. We're making fun of, like, how the announcer called out Vadi's name, apparently. She might not have known it. Maybe there's an accent, I don't know. Oh yeah, I don't have Blythe to help draw aggro. Wait a second, is that a... Yeah, I guess that is, like, the normal Bloodhound step. I just didn't remember them going invisible like that. Oh, he doesn't have a crit. I should probably heal. How did he miss? I wasn't even moving at that part. Cerulean Amber Medallion. So I'm missing the tree, not the tree, the Spear Talisman. It's probably up above with, like, all the other demi-humans. Is that worth going to get? Kind of not. Because I realized I'm kind of running out of days to do the lore stream. before we get the DLC. All right. So now we will talk to Latenna and Lobo. Her dialogue does change slightly depending on what choices you answer her with. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do. And I should have equipped this thing, which doesn't really matter. Actually, let me double check this. 782, 88 to 120. $782, 88, 120. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought you actually had to have the Great Runes used, or the Rune Arcs used to get the benefits of the Great Runes. Which is not what it seems like they'd say. Anyway, not too important. Friend Knight said there was a bingo challenge, and then it was teams of 2 versus bosses. One who wasn't allowed to attack, and the other that could only attack. It was so bad. Protagonist ended his stream and started 2 hours later. I didn't know that. I saw that I saw a thumbnail of him streaming, but it looked kind of short, and I was wondering about that. I guess that explains things. Two Fingers asks, are we going to get more Frenzy Flame and Three Fingers lore on this stream? Yes. We'll probably be talking to Edgar near the Revenger Shack and doing more Hayata stuff since we're in Liurnia. And Mao, nice to see you again. And Jonathan Grover, welcome back. If previous DLCs are anything to go by, we're going to get 5 entirely new Outer Gods and info about previous things that only raises more questions. So yeah, there was that new PC Gamer interview, I believe, that Miyazaki said, where he said we might not really get answers for the base game, but just more questions for extra stuff, essentially. He said it a bit more tactfully than that, to be fair, but that is essentially the gist of it.
Foul tarnished. What do you want? I told the all-hearing brute that I possess no such medallion. Or have you come to take more from me? Was my other half not a...
Alright, I'm just going to restart her dialogue and try to give her a better shake of things. This is partly why I hate being online. It's because all this stuff like gets in the way.
Foul tarnished. What do you want? I told the all-hearing brute that I possess no such medallion. Or have you come to take more from me? Was my other half not enough?
So if we show her the secret medallion, she'll talk to us about Albus. I think nothing really changes if you say don't show it. She just kind of like repeats herself, so we'll go for it. So since Latenna is an Albinorc, it seems as though she has a little bit silvery hued eyes. And she's obviously wearing the Albinorc Archer set, the blue chainmail set. Do I think the One Great and the Greater Will are the same? I think there's an unironic strong possibility because of the way that the Japanese is written. It doesn't necessarily make them sound entirely distinct with what Hayata's dialogue talks about, because she seems to potentially say that the One Great and the Greater Will are interchangeable with the way that she says the One Great blah blah blah, but then the Greater Will made a mistake. So I don't know. Hey Sayfrog, nice to see you again.
Oh. Do you speak true? So old Albus entrusted his medallion to you. Then I've no choice but to trust that this was his dying will. Let's try again. I'm Latenna, an Albinorec, the same as old Albus. My apologies for my coarse words earlier. I presume the worst. Seeing that you're another tarnished like that all-hearing brute, I hope that you will forgive me.
So, despite what I said on the last stream about the potential that Celavis could have framed Gideon by using his Omen Killer puppet to try to make Nefeli become crestfallen, even Latenna and Albus seem to believe that Gideon was behind the attack or the massacre of the Albinorc village. And what else is I going to say about that? Oh, yeah. So, it's Latenna's dialogue here which makes it a little bit clearer that the so-called Cursemonger is a reference to Gideon, because she calls him the all-hearing brute in this instance. Lieutenant Dan Forrest Gump joke? Oh no.
The medallion's better off in your hands anyway. Would you consider doing me a great service? I must go back. There is something I must do, even if I must say farewell to my wolf Lobo. Will you show me the way? To the land of Mikkela's Erdtree. If you accept, I would gladly apprise you of the whereabouts of the medallion's other half.
And if it wasn't for Miyazaki's interview saying that we might not get more base game quests and NPCs involved with the DLC, I would almost tinfoil hat. There could be a connection between Lieutenant's quest and accessing the DLC, but I don't really think that's going to be the case after all. Oops.
The medallion. Would you consider I must go? There is something. Will you show? If you accept.
Press circle by accident. All right. Hear the request.
Thank you kindly. They say the other half of the medallion is beyond the Forbidden Lands, north of the Erdtree, in Castle Sol, on the mountaintops of the Giants, accessible by the Grand Lift of Rold.
All right, friend Alex, welcome back to the stream. Thank you for the tip on the whereabouts of the Albinorc woman.
Then I suppose it's time. Farewell, Lobo. My faithful wolf. My better half. I will go with the Tarnished, so that our journey will not have been in vain. Forgive me, Lobo.
All right, so the way that Lieutenant refers to Lobo
Call
here
upon me
as her...
when needed, and I will fight at your side.
The way she refers to Lobo here as her better half is the exact same way that Marika refers to Radagon as her other half in the Japanese. Her hanshin, essentially, like half body. For anybody who doesn't know, Lobo, I believe, is taken from Spanish for wolf, so Lobo's name is essentially Wolf Wolf. Her Wolf Wolf. So, right. That's pretty much it here for Lieutenant's quest. We already got the one half of the medallion, which means Ensha will attack us when we try to return to the Round Table Hold, which is a little bit troubling, and I'll show that it's questionable whether it is the Round Table Hold, which is kind of an even dumber thing to consider. We can see the Precipice of Anticipation. We can see the Statue of Marika from this angle as well as Stormvale. Do like how much attention to detail they put into their maps and whatnot for stuff like that. So let's go ahead and check out her Spirit Ashes as well as the Medallion half. Ashen remains in which spirits yet dwell, used to summon the spirit of Lieutenant the Albinorc. A rare case of one who chose to become a spirit voluntarily. Lieutenant was renowned as a deft magic archer, but having lost her beloved wolf companion Lobo, she cannot move from the place where she was summoned. So, it could just be that the Albinorcs have no means of mobility on their own. Another possibility could be that she's literally tied to the being of Lobo, kind of potentially the way that Melina is tied to us, or even how Lieutenant is tied to us now. But I don't really think that works out because we see a bunch of other Albinorc archers without wolves in the snowfields. Maybe they had wolves at one point and died. Anyway, the most fascinating part about Lieutenant the Albinorc becoming a Spirit Ash the way that she does is that we're kind of told / hinted at that Albinorcs shouldn't have grace or gold inherently. Maybe that they get infused some when they're like actually created by human hands or whatnot. But if the Albinorcs don't have grace, but they can still become Spirit Ashes, then I think we can claim that there should be some sort of separation between the soul / spirit and gold, which is worth further exploration. So I've got some pretty good thoughts about how that works right now, but I feel like if we just get a few more hints and pieces with the DLC, we'll be in a better place overall with our understanding of things here. Without Horns Wishes, Lieutenant was a bit more useful as a Spirit Ash. Yeah, she's not too bad. She could be pretty good. So the nice thing about ranged ones is if you use that talisman which draws enemy aggro, then they're free to act with a bit more impunity, with less risk of getting clipped by enemy attacks. Although, you know, some enemies just still have huge AoEs. Hey, Crunchy, nice to see you again. And then Galamoth was imagining that we'd end up knowing as much about the Greater Will as we do about the First Flame from Dark Souls, which isn't too much in the grand scheme of things. Maybe. I'm trying to think of like how much we actually know about the First Flame. I guess not a lot is said about it directly, but you can make a lot of inferences based off of like other items and implications. And then friend Alex asks, is Lobo her shadow? Maybe. We don't really know, but that's a good question. Does Spanish exist canonically in the lands between? It's Spanish as Fair Missoula is, so why not? Sayfrog says, Ensha created his own pocket dimension? Maybe. There are some incongruities between the Round Table Hold that we're about to visit and the one we like think of as the Round Table Hold, which I'll try to show off here. Yeah, Conscom says, if you don't let Lieutenant grab aggro, she's a beast against Placidus Axe. Yeah, so Mao thinks the Greater Will is like the one great, or at least the greatest piece of it after splitting. And I think those ideas aren't necessarily incompatible either. But yeah, I know what you mean. Floorboard said, has anyone mentioned how surprisingly spoiler-free the Red Bull event was? All we got was some weapons and an enemy we've already seen. Okay. I heard that it wasn't as titillating as people had wished for, but I saw some people cooking on the spoiler zone in my Discord channel, and I was, just perusing for moderation's sake. But yeah, it didn't seem like there was a ton, but I guess some people's thoughts are still going wild based off the Red Bull event. All right, let's go ahead and get ganked as we try to return to the Table of Lost Grace in the Round Table Hold. So Ensha's coming in and ganking us. Man, it is so dark in this place. This cave is creepy. So when we come to this room with the twin maiden husks, if you look above the wall, we've got two giant Erdtree banners, rather than like the portrait of, I think, Godfrey, which is on top. And Ensha can use gravity magic, plus the life clinging bone. So he's a red, which implies that he's an invader. Now, one of the weirder things about the fact that we can legitimately kill Ensha here is that we can face other tarnished like Dung Eater who invade us in their red form, but they don't die permanently. So, in the words of Jerry Seinfeld, what's the deal with that? That's a terrible Seinfeld impression because I don't ever really try to impersonate him, to be honest. And I almost said Jerry Springer at first, which, I mean, considering that we're locked in Mortal Kombat right now, isn't the worst comparison. I was trying to, like, jump through that attack, but it, like, staggered me enough. I was out of stamina with that. Oh, God. Jump. I'm gonna die, aren't I? That was weird. It was like I got pulled in by the gravity spell, which might be what it does. I think this is legitimately the first time Ensha's killed me. That's a pretty cool close-up of him at the end there, though. I wonder where my runes go. Do I still have them? I do. Oh, that's interesting. I may as well level up now that I've been reminded that I actually had runes from defeating the Bloodhound Knights. Not trying to pass time. I'm gonna keep bumping up endurance because for a HUDless playthrough, I've been finding myself out of stamina a lot more than I like, just because I don't have as good a feel of that. And then Mao was asking if I'm familiar with the concept of a pantheonic god. That feels like an oxymoron, so I feel like you're probably using it in a context that I'm not familiar with. Because I certainly know what a pantheon is, but not a singular pantheonic god. Unless you just mean it's one god that's been split up. Probably more like in Hinduism, I guess. Or maybe Hinduism isn't the right word. Maybe Jainism? I don't know. My knowledge of Hinduism is kind of like all over the place. Okay, so that does pull me in. Duly noted. So I need to roll in. The tracking on that was terrible. He got buffed by a golden aura of something. Guess he's a great enemy. Clinging bone. Alright, so Alex said there were some things that they considered pretty spoilery in the Red Bull event, but that's a personal thing. You just want to know as much as possible, but respect not everyone feels that way. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys respecting, you know, other people not wanting to know as much about the spoilers as they can and refraining from talking about that during these streams and whatnot. Hit him with a chair. That would be one hell of an Ash of War, wouldn't it? From the top of a Hell in a Cell. Alright, so yeah, Ensha got, and we got some more runes, and the Life Clinging Fist. Or Clinging Bone, whatever it's called in this game. Horrific weapon made of a hardened skeletal arm, wielded by Ensha of the Royal Remains. Fitted by placing one's hands into the fist's grip until they dig in. Quote, O clinging creature, a king relinquishes not the hand. Skill is Lifesteal Fist. Skill that demonstrates mastery of the art of controlling vital energies. A slow, controlled punch with an energy-infused fist that renders foes unconscious and steals their HP. Only effective against foes of human build. So that's kind of almost like the Dark Wraiths of Dark Souls and whatnot with their abilities. We didn't get his set, did we? I don't actually remember where we get Ensha's set from. So now Gideon will say virtually nothing about Ensha getting ahead of himself. Oh, here's where we get the set. The Royal Remains Helm, Armor, Gauntlets, and Greaves, which say... Armor graced with gold human bones. Worn by the unspeaking adherent of Gideon... Worn by the unspeaking adherent of Sir Gideon the All-Knowing. Slowly replenishes HP when HP is reduced. It is said that the bones belong to an ancient lord, the Soulless King, the Lord of the Lost and Desperate, who is known as Ensha. So as far as this dialogue, or this description is concerned, I'm kind of the mind that Ensha, the person that we fought just a moment ago, might not actually be the real Ensha, and he could just be the assumed identity of what may have been formerly known as Ensha. And I don't really think the Soulless King was literally attacking us. But if he was, then that really draws up a lot of questions about what it means to, of the nature of someone to be like soulless. And then why wouldn't a soulless creature like Godwyn be as animated as Ensha was, I suppose. So that's part of why I tend not to believe that the person known as Ensha is not like the Ensha of the armor. Krishna. Okay, that makes sense. Three little gods stacked up top each other like a raincoat. Say Frog's going to be a Karian swordsman. At least for me in this build, I'm probably going to be like a stealthy, assassin-y, confessor type dude. Friend Alex says, great enemy felled as opposed to recusant bloody finger vanquished is interesting. You don't know if that's supposed to be related to faction alignment or what. Now that you mention it, there was that new patch. I wonder if... I don't know if I've updated my game. It might have happened automatically, but I wonder if any of those kind of messages are going to be updated with the new patch or the DLC. Without Horns is trying out different spells to see if you want to do a spell or miracle build for the DLC. So far, you only like the ambush spell and Rings of Light. So I feel like this spell is really slept on, but it's actually extremely powerful in certain circumstances. And that would be Fia's Mist. Wait, no, not Fia's Death Mist. The Silver Mist. Wait, what's it called? The Nokron spell. So is it just Silver Mist? Anyway, yeah. Since we're talking about Lieutenant and the Alban Orcs and whatnot, because the Silver Mist also drains HP and all that weird dichotomy between gold and silver, I do wonder if silver is meant to drain gold at all, which is why the Alban Orcs start to fade naturally. Mao asks, if I think the other Erdtrees in the Elden Beasts arena are other Erdtrees in other worlds ruled by the Greater Will. We know other worlds exist thanks to the Newman. So, I don't know if those trees represent trees going off to different lands and the lands between, or if they represent the kind of multiverse where all of our other tarnished brethren reside, unfortunately. Pseudo Fossil, welcome on into the stream. Imagine if the update didn't change any details at all except for references to Goat for it. You can dream, yeah. And Adley Black, nice to see you again. Oh yeah, and Galama says Blasphemous Blade. Wait, no, that's Rykard's. The Black Blade from Malekith is the bee's knees. Alright. Oh yeah, so during that fight with Ensha, I had made it a point to run into here and to show off. Wait, what the hell? Did they change the game? Did they update it? So, okay. So Ensha's invasion is consistent with this, unless we have other indicators that I just ignored. So the real fortified manor just has different banners up here. I felt like I checked that out. Maybe I must have just been misremembering then. The Zoink Scoob. Can't remember the differences between the fortified manor and the round table hold. How dare I? And the fake round table hold by Ensha?
You. What is it?
About Ensha.
Oh, my apologies for that nasty business. Ensha got rather ahead of himself, it seems. As his master, I'd like to express my regret. But now, Ensha is slain and gone. Finished. Forevermore.
Or is he? Yeah, so he invades as a red, Vike invades as a red, but only Ensha really dies? Is this like a round table hold type reason?
Ah, yes. By way of apology, allow me to tender some advice in regard to the half of the secret medallion you possess. Find the Albinoric woman. She hides in a cave to the west of the Laskia ruins, which jut from the mist-shrouded lake of Liurnia. She knows the location of the medallion's counterpart, I'm sure. Find the Albinoric woman. She hides in a
You said
cave
it,
to the west
guys.
of the Laskia
Bart said the
ruins,
line.
which jut from the mist-shrouded lake of Liurnia. She knows the location of the medallion's counterpart, I'm sure.
Alright, so I was trying to actually get more of Lieutenant's dialogue for the trailer contest. And at least on the PC version that I had, it was kind of bugged where she doesn't give her extra lines in the mountaintops of the giants. But my first time playing through the game, I wasn't paying attention, and then Lieutenant started talking to me. I think I was like distracted by my dog or something. And then when I like actually snapped my focus back to the game, she was mostly done talking, and I had no idea what the hell she said. And if I hadn't been recording it, I wouldn't have known. Which is like one of the reasons I get a little bit salty that we don't have save systems in this game when there are like missable bits of dialogue or just when dialogue doesn't repeat. I didn't talk to Roger in here at all yet. Alright, so that was all that stuff with Gideon. I still need to actually read the medallion and talk to Nefeli. Well, Nefeli would be on the other side of the hold. Okay. So I'm going to run over there. So Mao doesn't believe in the multiverse, but yeah, as Crunchy was saying in chat, and I mentioned about like the whole multiversal stuff the other night on stream, that it doesn't make much sense for there to not be a multiverse when we have Ania talk about seeing the two great runes together and things like that, or why Gideon wouldn't commend us or welcome us in as a true tarnished warrior of the round table hold if nobody had ever killed a demigod before to possess great runes. So you might not want to believe in the multiverse theory yourself, but if you do that, I think you really need to reevaluate how you feel about like Gideon's lines, whether or not they're like accurate, or if he's just lying to us or trying to manipulate us, which could be a possibility, but I feel like that just goes a little bit too far beyond what the game is trying to present to me to believe. Pseudo Fossil isn't hopeful about it, but you'd love if we got a lot more Gideon dialogue about NPCs in the Shadowlands. I would not be surprised if Gideon did kind of have a role there, or if he talked a bit more, because his quest doesn't fully end until later, and you can't kill him until later on either. But I could also see Miyazaki not wanting to do that in case people came in to the DLC after clearing the game. But he would make a lot of sense for being like a so-called all-knowing character for researching the place. You'd like an Albinor cartwheel, Ashawar? That's actually a good point. That'd be pretty cool. Without Horns is on the fence with the multiverse stuff. I don't really like it, but to be honest, I think it falls in line with a lot of the stuff that we get with Dark Souls. And I just don't really think there's a super good faith way to interpret Enia's dialogue another way, or even like trying to reconcile the way that we get invaded by characters that are said to return to their own world after they do their invasion stuff, like Yura. Yes, I unironically believe it's more likely that there's a multiverse than a character lying. Because we're told that characters return to their own worlds, which, I mean, where the hell do they go? Okay. Let's talk to Nefeli. Actually, let's read the Albinoric woman's medallion half and then talk to Nefeli. Erdtree secret medallion right. Right half of a split medallion depicting the Erdtree. Brandishing the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the Grand Lift of Rold, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, the secret medallion will guide the bearer to the land of Miquella's Erdtree. So I've got a lot of questions about when these medallions were formed, and on one hand, like the fire monk kind of 7-branch stick wielding dudes at the front of the lift kind of seem as though they would predate a lot of the stuff relating to the Erdtree, but if it's supposed to depict the Erdtree explicitly, it's kind of weird. I don't remember what the actual Lift of Rolled medallion says about this specifically off the top of my mind, so I'll probably just need to look it up or just, suffer for a little bit. So anyway, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it with this. Let's go ahead and talk to Nefeli.
Ah, you. Please, leave me be. It's pathetic, I know, but I need to think. Ah, you. Please, leave me be. It's pathetic, I know, but I need to think.
So I think I just need to rest, and then she'll talk a bit more. Mao says that's not proof enough. Well, then I don't know what proof you would need beyond that, because it seems pretty cut and dry. And I could like pull out the tarnished furled fingers and whatnot, and they'll say something similar as well.
Ah, you. Please. It's pathetic, I know.
Alright, so she says nothing of value, but we have good old Roger and Fia. Actually, I don't remember if Fia says anything before we talk to Roger here. So I'm going to regret my life decisions and take the 30 minutes it takes to go through her animation.
Pleased to see you again. Would you like me to hold you once more? The blessing is still aflame in your breast, dear. Would you like to be held? Regardless? Now, come closer.
This kind of reminds me of the way that they would do cutscenes in games for like Super Nintendo, where one character would animate.
Very warm. Then good day to you.
God damn it. and then they would deliver their lines, and then another character would animate to deliver their lines. It's like, please, FromSoft. I should unironically time this. All right, I'm going to talk to Roger, and then I'm going to talk to Fia, and then look at my clock as it ticks the next time round.
Ah, we meet again after all. I apologize for any offense given by my bearing, but I'm quite unable to move, you see. So, what do you need? Ah, you defeated Godric and claimed yourself a great rune. Looks like we both got what we wanted out of Stormvale, didn't we? Well done, friend. Something to mark the occasion. Go on, take it.
Roger's rapier +8.
As you might have guessed, I still can't move. My fighting days are behind me. No need to be polite. I've no use for it anymore.
About the corpse under Stormvale, I should probably get my notes ready for this. All right.
The misshapen corpse under Stormvale. That is a sacred relic of the Black Knives plot, as that famed night of assassination is known. It happened during the golden age of the Erdtree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night, murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. I once wished to become a scholar, you see. I've spent many an hour scouring the archives for knowledge of that fateful plot. The world has grown crooked, and if you intend to put it to rights, you'd better understand what happened to make it this way. And that thing is to blame for the shape I'm in now. I urge the utmost caution. Don't disturb the corpse more than necessary.
All right. I wasn't paying attention exactly to what he said because I was trying to pull up my notes on the matter. So give me a second. So yeah, I know Roger's dialogue here has really misled some people because it makes it sound as though there's a conflicting report of the timeline, at least in the English version of the game. The Japanese doesn't really have this issue, but I don't think the English is that bad, all things considered. So... Oh wait, this is not the right dialogue. Okay. So, the misshapen corpse under Stormvale, that is a sacred relic of the Black Knives plot, as that famed night of assassination is known. It happened during the golden age of the Erdtree, long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith, the Black Blade, and on a bitter night murdered Godwyn the Golden. That was the first recorded death of a demigod in all history. So, he's saying that the shattering happened... No, let me try to rephrase this. That Godwyn happened... Godwyn's assassination happened before the shattering of the Elden Ring, and that happened a long time ago. And then... Roger says, and it became the catalyst. Soon, the Elden Ring was smashed, and thus sprang forth the war known as the Shattering. So, I always forget why exactly people get confused by this. Let me double check something real quick. You guys are probably talking about it in the chat already. It happened long before the shattering of the Elden Ring. Soon the Elden Ring was smashed. Yeah, so I think it's just a little bit of an unfortunate case of localization, but it's not that bad. I'll talk more about the Japanese in a second here. And Polyester Pimp and IE Not, nice to see both of you again. Gideon off near spitting absolute nonsense while knowing literally nothing. Hey, Wiscoism, welcome on into the stream. Why are you not smashing that like button? Because we do all of our smashing on the Elden Ring. That's why. Yeah, but thanks. All right, so unfortunately, I can't exactly share my screen with the way that my setup is right now, but the Japanese that I have for his dialogue here would be that in the old prosperous age of the Erdtree, before the Elden Ring was shattered, someone stole a fragment of the Rune of Death from Malekith the Black Blade, and on a cold night assassinated Godwyn the Golden. It's the first death of a demigod in history. They say it was the catalyst in the shattering of the Elden Ring, which caused the Shattering War. I'm originally a scholar, you see, so I've been studying the conspiracy for a long time. So I guess some people get confused by Roger saying that Godwyn and his assassination on the Night of the Black Knives happened long before the Shattering, which makes it sound like there could have been a substantial time gap between the assassination and the breaking of the ring, which isn't quite there in the English, but it's still pretty direct that Godwyn's death was the catalyst in Marika deciding to shatter the ring. And then Ash King says, you think people think that Golden Age he mentions is the Age of Plenty / the Age of the Crucible, but Ash King assumes it's actually the Age of the Erdtree / Erdtree worship. So let me look at that. I know the way that he says the prosperous age of the Erdtree. What's he say in English? The Golden Age of the Erdtree, right? That's what they call it in English. So yeah, as far as that is concerned, I'll type it into chat. Yeah, as far as that's concerned, the prosperous age of the Erdtree, as I call it, is more like the ancient Erdtree, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5 characters, right here. Can I even highlight on this very well? Probably not. Maybe you guys can see that. The first 5 characters are like the old Golden Tree, which is what they call the ancient Erdtree and all of the ancient Erdtree incantations and whatnot. And this is just like the prosperous age. So it's not necessarily the Golden Age. Not that I think it really matters too much. So the localizers were just being a little bit ornate with their wording there, but I think it works pretty well as an actual localization. The only difficulty is that because gold has a kind of loaded meaning in Elden Ring, it's really risky trying to conflate gold with things that aren't necessarily directly related to gold. Right, and that's pretty much what I think is correct with that, Mao, that it would be Godwyn's death being the lead into the shattering of the ring, which triggered the Shattering War. So hopefully that's clear. I know, like, I didn't present this as well. I probably should have done a bit more research before trying to present other people's thoughts about it. But I do know, for whatever reason, his dialogue has tripped some people up. Alright, about D.
Ah, so you've met D. D is an old friend. We found ourselves journeying together for a time, bound by our exploration of death. But our paths have since diverged, never again to cross. Though that's hardly an uncommon fate for 2 friends. Dee was telling me that he discovered the mark of the centipede. The centipede is an ancient symbol of the curse mark. As long as whoever finds and uses it is not nefarious by nature, then we may be able to form an alliance. If only I could speak to them in person. And if they were like you, all the better.
So, now that I think about it, we might have run into one of those quintessential problems of whether or not NPCs are aware of the state of other NPCs' quests. Because we've already killed D at Summonwater Village, so D should not have returned to the Round Table Hold to talk to Roger, which isn't that big of a deal. But maybe this implies that D had obtained the Curse Mark of Death elsewhere. So we're told that Devon did stand before the Prince of Death, so maybe he grabbed the Curse Mark and the older brother retrieved it, because he would have needed to get the armor somehow, sometime. I don't know. Their whole situation's really weird, but then why wouldn't Darian have known of like the condition of his little brother? Because yeah, he seems surprised that like Fia did it, or not Fia, but like essentially, yeah, kind of like Fia does kind of do it, or at least Fia rage baits the older D into thinking that she did it. Anyway, this is just kind of a bit of an over-analysis of what I think might just be a little bit of a dev mistake by having the original implication be that D finds the curse mark in Summonwater Village, because he kind of has a line alluding to that he says, like, this village is marked by death, I think. This village. Return to the Erdtree might be better. There's no mistake, is there? Death has left its mark once again. Sorry, cannot give you your proper rights. Alright, blah, blah, blah. The village here has been touched by death, and worse yet, it is home to a mariner. If you value your life... Okay, so I guess there is nothing really definitive about D potentially getting that curse mark of death from Summonwater Village, so I might just need to abandon that idea if I want to believe that Roger is still speaking truthfully here, because he should not have talked to D to like learn about the curse mark and whatnot if D was killed by me, I guess. I don't know. So, Mr. Kai, nice to see you again. You don't think the Age of the Crucible was the Age of Plenty? The Age of Plenty was the early Erdtree era. So, you might not be too familiar with my thoughts about that then, but I am of the opinion that it is indeed the early Erdtree era, which coincides with that of the Crucible. Yeah, and Mao says, it's because two events have the same name. The Shattering is both the Ring and the War, both of which would have happened after Godwin's death. So, yeah, Roger could be talking about shattering the ring in one instance with, like, long ago, and then soon being, like, the whole Shattering War stuff, I guess. And then without horns, just assume that line is there because Deathroot's there. It's weird because it seems to me, like, as far as the way that Fia's quest is characterized, that she may have waited to make a move on D for him to get possession of that other half of the curse mark of death, which she covets. But if the younger D brother did get it, maybe he passed it on to the older brother and then Fia got him, which is why his dagger is weathered. Maybe he got by Godwin himself, which is why his dagger was weathered. And we'll talk a lot more about that when we finish her quest there. So I'm not too worried about these skills here from Roger. Actually, maybe I should get them because I won't get them again later. Oh no, he has a bell bearing. What am I talking about?
Oh, still need something?
Got really lucky with my binocular pulls that time. Okay. So Novelli doesn't say anything anymore. I don't think I got more Glovewort to level up my thing for Roderica. Oh yeah, so let me pull out my timer real quick. Starting.
I am pleased. Would you like me? The blessing. Would you like?
Now.
Come closer. You are so
12 or 13 seconds around there. I started it after she finished her dialogue and when we got into the animation.
My dear, have you ever heard of Black Knife Prince? Dear Roger likes to talk of them when abed, and the ancient plot in which the first of the demigods was slain. The black knives wielded by the assassins who committed the act, along with the impressions they made, somehow hide the truth of the conspiracy. These grand affairs are hardly my forte, but dear Roger began to weep as he spoke. In truth, I've heard tell from someone else about the black knife prints that fascinate dear Roger so.
Knife print clue. It's a map.
But it wouldn't be right to give this to him, stuck as he is in the round table hold. Perhaps you could make use of it?
You found a simple map. Check in inventory. Okay. She didn't even say good day to you, my dear. How rude. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at that map. Knife print clue, a simple map given by Fia, a clue to the whereabouts of a black knife print. So if Roger was not the one who gave her the information about the whereabouts, that raises the question of who did it. Older D is dead, but that doesn't mean he didn't do it in the past. Younger D is as good a guess as any, because Fia seems to have the weathered dagger, and that means she should have come into contact with him somehow, since that dagger is kind of like a broken version of the twin blade sword, or whatever it's called, that the D brothers use. So, okay, I think that's it with the round table hold for now.
Ah, you appear to be doing well. Very good. Well then, would you like to learn an incantation?
I forgot that I got the Godskin prayer book.
That is a work of heresy. Its incantations bear no lineage from the Erdtree. Very well. I'll take it off your hands.
Alright, so from the Godskin Apostle Prayer Book, we get Black Flame, which says, a Black Flame incantation of the Godskin Apostles throws a ball of raging black fire. Charging enhances potency and causes the fireball to explode. Black Flame is weighty. After dealing damage, it continues to sap foes' HP for a very short time. And then Black Flame Blade, which is just tragically short in its duration, is a Black Flame incantation of the Godskin Apostles. Engulfs armament held in the right hand with Black Flame. This incantation can be cast without delay after performing another action. Black Flame is weighty, it says the same thing, whatever.
May the Golden Order shine through you.
Alright, so now we can go back to Liurnia to talk to Vare, and I'm not sure if it's better to do Arena and Hayata now. We'll do Dialos. I should have done Dialos before coming back here. So we'll do Dialos, come back to the round table hold, then Vare, then Arena, then Edgar. I should probably redo the order of that, but I don't really care too much right now. Alright, so Without Horns doesn't think Fia knew much about Deathroot until she started learning about it from Roger. I don't know. Because she seems... I guess the question comes, like, when was she worried about being Godwin aligned? So, our boy should be somewhere around here, right? So that's the Pizza Hut, which means... Let's pick up the treasure. Some magic grease. I shouldn't have gone too far already. There he is.
Lanya. No, Lanya. It's me, Dialos. Answer me, would you?
Alright. So we found Lanya. She seems to be wearing a chainmail set that we don't really get. Or maybe we do get it, but I just never bother with the base chainmail set. Anyway.
Hello, friend. Tell me if you know, would you? The whereabouts of the hidden house of those despicable fiends. The recusants who hunt their fellow tarnished. They laid hands upon my servant Lanya, and I refused to let the insult stand. The tale of House Hoslo is told in blood. I, Dialos, swear to deliver the message. They laid hands upon my servant Lanya, and I refuse to let the insult stand. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. I, Dielos, swear to deliver the message.
She might have the chainmail set you can buy from Kale. Maybe. And hey, Eladelia, welcome back to the stream.
They laid hands upon my servant Lanya, and I refuse to let the insult stand. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood. I, Dielos, swear to deliver the message.
He said the line.
They laid hands on the tale of
Okay. So let's go back to the round table hold again to hear him switch allegiance really quickly. So Ash King was saying that since we know the Erdtree is the crucible or grew from it, can the term Erdtree have taken place in history only after sealing death, and ancient Erdtree just be an anachronistic term for the future generations from future generations? So the way that I look at it is that even in the time of the Crucible, the Erdtree was still called the Erdtree because it's the golden tree, but I think the function of the Erdtree was different. So rather than just being gold or representing gold as like an ideal, I think it blended all life together, which is why it was likened to a literal crucible. A natural phenomenon, nice to see again.
Ah, you again, is it? The recusants sent a lackey. Can you believe they invited me to join them? Now, after what they did? I can scarcely believe it myself. Did they think me a fool? You might be surprised to learn I took them up on the offer. Then I only had to ask. The location of the recusant hideout. It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched recusants. You'll rue the day you insulted my name by laying hands on Lanya. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood, after all.
Galamoth says his story is so depressing. The funniest thing to me is if you walk up to him in Liurnia first before talking to him in the round table hold, he'll just be like, "Who the hell are you?" And he doesn't really blame you for killing Lanya or anything, which, I mean, we didn't, but if a stranger just rolls up on a crime scene, it's very natural for people to be suspicious. And then Paul Primus, welcome on into the stream. His hair blends so well with the wall, you thought it was a small head.
It's on Mount Gelmir, found off the old road that leads west from the town of Windmills. That's where they hide. The manor on the peak. Just you wait, wretched recusants. The tale of House Hoslow is told in blood, after all.
Alright, I think we're gonna go talk to Hayeta first, and then move from east to west. Damn it. I didn't do it that way. It's gonna be kind of annoying to go here. Anyway, let's go this way first. Clown Scum can't unsee the head comment. Oh, I should also talk to that finger reader crone. Change of plan, y'all. I think I would have needed to come this way anyway. To go at it. Okay, what am I doing? Oh, yeah. So I don't think I pointed this out my first time coming through here on stream, in that the little stone path here leading up to Castle Stormvale kind of is broken off to go up to the castle, which suggests to me that this road should be older than Stormvale itself, which is interesting. Got a dagger and some foot soldier gauntlets. Okay. So as we follow this road, it obviously will continue to go to Stormvale Castle, but... oh. We've got a scarab. Wild strikes. But if you actually follow the path of this road, it was supposed to have continued straight. So we've got no cobblestones here up until you get to this point underneath the Divine Bridge. So go straight, which suggests that they may have taken all the cobblestones from here to build the stupid little curve actually going up to the castle. So if that's the case, that this road is older than Stormvale, it might be relevant as to why it shows like a depiction of a 4-ringed Elden Ring. And that'll make more sense if I'm able to show it off, but not with this lighting I'll be able to. Damn it. Fingers required ahead.
You. Please. I can read them. Your fingers. Please, your fingers. Oh, bless you. Head to the fountain of gold tarnished. Traverse Rhea Lucaria, glintstone eventide, and reunite the half-crescents at the grand lift. Oh, but the bridge is collapsed and cannot be crossed. Only, why should that matter? Stormvale Castle still stands tall.
Paul Primus asks, what does she want to know about your fingers? Sounds sus? That sounds sus coming from a person named Palm Primus. Wouldn't you be interested in this kind of palm reading? Or is that exactly why you're scared of it? Nah, but in all seriousness, one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to her is to point out that there's a little bit of an incongruity in the Japanese text, where rather than calling Rhea Lucaria quote-unquote glintstone eventide, which just kind of sounds like an event more than anything else, the Japanese finger reader crone says to more or less transcend Rhea Lucaria's glintstone night. So I think the implications of what she's saying is that glintstone itself can conjure a false night, which might be relevant as to whatever the hell is happening in the Eternal Cities with their false night skies. And so we do see a bunch of gigantic glintstone crystals just kind of out in the lakes of Liurnia. And in Liurnia, more than any other region, we have a higher concentration of stars of the night sky. So there might be some kind of connection there, which I don't really think is too important. But when we actually go inside Rhea Lucaria itself, we can see a kind of aurora looking like thing. This is too high up anyway, so I was wrong. I did want to go from the down spots and then move east. So anyway, the aurora, which shows up in Rhea Lucaria, can be seen during the morning as well as the evening, which I think is meant to tie into that so-called glintstone night. Wasn't there a spirit spring this way? I actually don't remember. Yes. Okay. Mao believes that the finger readers probably predate the Erdtree, but this theory broke when she dies and the Rune of Death is unleashed. I don't necessarily think that idea is incompatible, but obviously I look at the timeline differently from other people. I shouldn't have bought these dudes. Yeah, marionettes are pretty scary. So, okay, I think this is light enough. Oh, this is going to turn off the second I pull out the telescope anyway. Yeah. If we look at the cobblestones on this highway, we've got a depiction of the Elden Ring, but rather than being in a more triangle shape, as far as the concentrations of runes go, this is shaped more equidistantly, as though there's like 4 rings with equal weighting, as opposed to what we would get with the kind of the Great Rune of Godric here with the Anchor Rune. So we've got one triangle, or one circle way up at the top, and then 2 off to the bottom left and bottom right, and then just 1 in the middle. as opposed to this being more equidistant from each other. So I don't know if this is just supposed to be a more stylized version of the Elden Ring, or if it's actually supposed to correlate to a previous form of the Elden Ring. I would like it if it's the former, but I wouldn't be shocked if it ended up being the latter. And one of the cool things is, on this road, damn it, during the day, the moon is still visible, I think at any time of day, or it will turn visible if you come in from the other direction. So I guess I'll do that in a second there. All right, screw that, dude. So we'll go pick up our beloved tree spear and then all that. Why is the moon bigger than the sun? All the better to eclipse you with, my dear. Galamoth asks, that's the ancient Erdtree incantation sigil, right? Or is it close to it? Not exactly. So I don't think I have the Erdtree seal, because we get that in, like, what, Lane Dell? So I don't think I have a good means of showing it off. Yeah, I can't show it off super well other than just going to the title screen, which isn't the Erdtree incantation seal. So we're going to ignore all these folks over here. Oh yeah, there's a catacomb down there. That's some pretty cool random stuff. Like there's some omen in this catacomb down beneath me. And I think like a bunch of misbegotten corpses. It's like one of the strangest catacombs in the game, thematically speaking. So this is an abandoned coffin, but it looks like it was supposed to be going towards Stormvale now that I think about it. So maybe this is supposed to be grafting fodder for Godric? I'm not dual wielding. Oh, I screwed that up. I'm gonna go for it. Damn it. It's too impatient, too greedy. So yeah, if you look up into the abdomen of a troll, it's got like a gravestone in it. And like the stakes which they use to chain them to the abandoned coffins go through those gravestones. And I wondered whether or not the trolls actually are the gravestones, kind of like the way that Renala's junior scholars are kind of the... Wow, I suck. I wonder if the junior scholars are like the trolls in that they can get turned into gravestones during that fight. Almost got done in by some wandering nobles. And Automatek, welcome on in. Why are their stomachs cut out? So some people believe that since the trolls were allied with the fire giants, they may have had fire giant faces in their abdomens, which I think is a really cool idea. I don't know if that's true or not, though. I'm still getting hit. Wow, and I whiffed it. I'm gonna die. There we go. Not so tough when your face isn't in a pillar now, are ya? Yeah, in the fight with Renala, she will transform the scholars in the second phase of the first phase of the fight, if that makes sense, into gravestones, which she will use to snipe at the Tarnished with. He's cheating. I didn't even need to kill that troll. It was just a matter of principle at this point. Oh yeah, and then Mao brings up a good point in that there are like root-looking like things coming out of the trolls as well, which is very interesting. All right, so we got our tree spear, so we'll read that before heading north, and I'll show off the moon. Oh, that's what I meant to do. I'm to like actually travel back. What's a rainy day now? Alright, so the moon is not out yet, but as we move further north, it will appear in the background. Unless the clouds are in the way? I'm not sure. Okay. Let's check out our tree spear. Which this wasn't in 1.0 if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that abandoned coffin was literally abandoned and it was empty. Oh yeah, we also got Roger's rapier. Tree spear. Golden spear with tree-like design, wielded by knights employed as palace guards in the royal capital Leyndell. Deals holy damage. Requiring superior dexterity to wield, this great spear can perform consecutive thrust attacks despite its larger size. And the skill used at this is Sacred Order, which is a skill of the Golden Order Fundamentalist Knights. Perform a salute and grant the armament Holy Essence, highly effective against those who live in death. So we don't really see normal enemies use this tree spear. I thought that the minor Erdtree Guardians used this, but they used something else. And I was like, oh man, the minor Erdtree Guardians use Sacred Order? Does that mean that they were like changed by Radagon or something? Or were they always part of Radagon's team? Apparently not. So anyway, not too important. I just like that this tree spear has Sacred Order because we don't actually see a lot of conflation of the Golden Order and the Erdtree, or even like just trees in general. This is like one of the few exceptions, to be honest. Any lore on the Land of Reeds? There's a tiny bit, but honestly, it's better to talk about that when we get to the not consecrated snowfield, the mountaintops of the giants, where we like see Okina and his little Inaba follower dude. Roger's rapier, +8. Piercing sword of superior quality featuring intricate ornamentation. Signature weapon of the sorcerer Roger. High dexterity is required to wield the blade to its full potential, but mastery is a sight to behold, characterized by a flowing style which excels in its successive attacks. Skill, Glint Blade Phalanx. Skill used by the enchanted knights who serve the Carian royal family. Form an arc of magic glintstone blades overhead, which will attack foes automatically. Follow up with a strong attack to chain the skill into a lunging thrust. So this Ash of War is like the biggest indication that Roger may have had a more direct connection to the royal family, but the skill could have also just been something he learned, but if so, then who would have passed him on that skill? We don't really know, so it's probably one of the most important direct ties between him and the Carian royals. Alright. Sorry, Chadwick. Nice to see you again. We've got Destiny Final Shape in the stream. Oh no. How are you doing, Destiny Final Shape, now that your plans have been thwarted along with the witness? I'm not really trying to... I was going to say I'm not really trying to fight these things, and then I just got lawnmowered. Ouch. Mercy, nice to see you again. Although, were you here earlier? I didn't see the cat in the box. Trading monkey ball like an ancient relic of holy appeal. I forgot to show off the moon, and now it's raining. Okay, let's get my runes, and then I'll do it. I'll do the thing. Hey Levo, nice to see you again. Do I think I'll be able to finish DLC prep until the DLC? At this rate, probably not. But honestly, if I leave certain bosses up like Radon, Melania, and the Fire Giant, I probably can, like unironically. Because it's really just like the rest of Limgrave and, you know, Morgott essentially. And then just a little bit of side exploration if I want to do that. Okay. So we see the sun over there, and the moon appears as we move north. I'll try to show that off again because I was not paying attention as I moved. So I will focus the camera that way if it's not there already. Okay, it's there. Alright, I'm just going to give up on it. Anyway, if the moon is not visible in the sky, for whatever reason, coming up this road will make it become visible. Is it this ruins that I want to go to? I believe it is. I think there's another site of grace just around the hill as well. The sword monuments. Oh yeah, the site of grace is further there. Okay. Yeah, some of these sites of grace are just really, really close to each other. It's kind of annoying, honestly. Yeah, I tend not to look back at sword monuments, so I tend to forget where they are. But since we're doing a lore stream, let's check it out. And then Jordo said, am I excited for the DLC? Of course you are, it's in the freaking title. In a weird way, honestly, no. Like, I think this is probably going to ruffle some feathers. I'm not really that big of a fan of the gameplay of Elden Ring, mechanically speaking. So I much prefer the combat feel of a game like Bloodborne and Sekiro. I just get really frustrated by the input delays of Elden Ring, and I think if they fixed that, I would have enjoyed the game much more than I did. But with all that being said, I definitely really appreciate the freedom that Elden Ring affords players. So I think it's top-notch for that. I think exploration the first time around is great and fantastic, but then it really loses a lot of its charm and appeal for me on repeated playthroughs. So because of that, I've been a little bit burnt out by Elden Ring, but with Shadow of the Erdtree being new content, it'll probably rekindle some more things in me once I actually get my hands on it and go through it. Nah, I mean, those things were shown off in the trailer. It's fine. You're surprised I didn't put Stormblade on my sword, or I'm going for a holy build? I'm going for a holy build right now. Well, to be honest, I'm not even at that point yet. I've just been leveling up my base stats of vigor and endurance. So I'll get there eventually. No. So I'm saying that I'm not... I can kill the fire giant, but I probably won't go to like Farum Azula. So I could leave the fire giant alive because I'm a little bit curious if there's going to be anything with Melina. So I don't want to necessarily sacrifice her to the flame. Siegmeyer says, valid opinion, but the input delay is not a bug, it's a feature. You are right, but I feel like it's not fun regardless. I don't know, like, some of it really isn't bad, but there's just some moments where it feels really bad. I think the dodging animation being tied to the running animation, or dodging input being tied to the running animation is just really garbage. Because there's been plenty of times where I've been trying to like quick step away from an enemy, then I start running, which stops me from being able to dodge. That's like the worst part of Elden Ring's combat to me, as well as the input delay. Alright. This marks Millennia's southward march. The blade of Mikola and her Klinrot knights grant her wings never to be clipped. So this is most likely before she fought Godric. And also the path that Millennia would have taken to go from like the Runestrewn precipice, depending on if you think Millicent is directly following her path or if it's just the path of most convenience for her, is interesting, because that could imply that the Shadowlands were already separated if you believe that the Shadowlands were in the middle of the lands between. Alright. So before talking to Arena, let's go get our grape. I should have gotten the dogs or whatnot first, right? Oh lord, they're coming. I did not think this through. Oh! Ah! They're gonna get me! Oh, why didn't I swing twice? Was I out of stamina from all my panic rolling? Probably. There we go. Now that I got the dog out of the way, well, there's another dog though. Where's the other dog? That's the only thing that I'm actually worried about right here. Although maybe I should be worried about other things. Let's just be safe. I wasn't expecting that. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm sure once we get to Shadow the Erdtree and we start getting new weapons and everything like that, it'll be really exciting for me again. Finally got the Lord's Horn Straight Sword, which is used by the Cuckoos. Interesting. He looked like the corpse. He cheated. There we go. Yeah, mongrels? Okay. Revenant asks, what input delays does Elden Ring have that are not in the previous games? It's just about the feeling of the timing of actually pressing your attacks compared to when they come out. It feels like they come out, I would say, like a quarter of a second later than in the previous titles. And the other games had their own issues at times. Like Dark Souls 3 had a really bad input buffering issue, in my opinion. Damn. And I've had that a couple times in Elden Ring where some inputs get buffered at odd intervals. But Dark Souls 3 felt worse about it. But with that being said about Dark Souls 3, the general speed of the inputs seemed to come out faster from my memory. And I might be misremembering things. It'd probably be a good video to make just to like actually compare the input delays of the games. So as much as I dunk on Dark Souls 2, it didn't actually feel as though there was an input delay. It just felt like the game itself was slow, which is kind of fine in its own way. But I just didn't like the speed of Dark Souls 2, but yeah. Elden Ring just feels a little bit unresponsive in comparison. So where is the entrance? Is it lower? I always forget where this one is. Is this my main, or do I have a different account? Yeah, so I'm playing on PS5 right now, and my main account is on my PC. But I don't think it's the best for my PC to try to stream Elden Ring at a high graphical fidelity and stream at the same time. So that's why I play on the PS5, at least for stream. So it's not this one. I don't think it's there. Is it over here? So no, this is the path. Okay. Go back, it's under the junk. I thought it was up there. Yeah, once I knew it was not here, but now I'm like doubting myself. Oh, right, because it's not in the middle of the room. It's actually on the side. Yep. That's why I always get thrown off by this one. So yeah, that's the funny thing. I'm like, I know this isn't... like, I know there's something to this that I always forget, and then I forget what it is. Thank you. So we get our 2 fingers heirloom, which shows off its legs. And another Shibibi grape. So, a talisman engraved with the legend of the 2 fingers raises faith. Fingers cannot speak, yet these were eloquent. Persistently did they wriggle, spelling out mysteries in the air. Thus did we gain the words of our faith. So I know Smowtown has a thumbnail where it kind of makes it look like the 2 fingers has legs, kind of because of what's depicted in the 2 fingers heirloom talisman. But the way that I look at it would be as though the source of light in this image should be behind the 2 fingers, and it's supposed to be a shadow being cast towards the adherents. But we could just say that the quality of the artmanship was poor because the little adherents down at the bottom don't have their own shadows. Or maybe the 2 fingers really do have legs after all. Thank you for the directions again. I'm pretty sure that crab, prawn, crayfish, lobster, bastard doesn't aggro me over here. But man, would it suck to just get sniped while talking to Hayata. How else would they get around? Crawl. Haven't you ever watched The Addams Family?
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabiri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. Hello? Would you donate? I'm on a pilgrimage, and when I eat... You're not like the others who give me grapes, are you? They rest their trembling hands upon me. Howling wordlessly, they gently stroke my eyes. Their frail fingers, emaciated. Yet still, they give me the grapes. But you seem somehow firmer.
You know, that's something I hadn't really thought about. I mean, I just kind of figured she was talking about the ghosts. But the fact that she recognizes that we're firmer shows that she does have some kind of physical knowledge of ghost folks, even though she doesn't realize that they're ghosts. Because they're howling wordlessly as well. And this wouldn't normally bother me, but it's just that Hugh makes a point of remarking that Roderica is a spirit tuner, and like not many people have that ability. Nefeli says something about that as well, that she can't talk to spirits. But I guess Hayata might not be able to talk to them since she believes that they howl wordlessly, but she still feels them, which is interesting. But I mean, we could get our ass kicked by ghosts, so maybe it's not that big of a deal. I don't know, I'll probably need to think about this a bit more.
You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you. You are most kind. May the blessing.
So that's it for Hayata in this location. What am I doing? Let's do that. Man, it's kind of a trek all the way up. Right, no, I'm just going to keep going north for now, and then I will do the other parts of Hayata's quest line. Actually, I always forget where this teleports me to. I think this teleports me right next to the gate, doesn't it? So I might do this first and then just teleport back. Summit Streams, welcome back to the stream. How you doing? You wondered what the grapes taste like? And Elden, nice to see you again. Our enthusiast in the chat. Alright, yeah, so this was a smart play. I'll need to remember the shortcut. And then I don't remember what the other teleporter teleports us to. Meeting place map. That'll tell us where to get our glintstone key. And I should probably set the time of day to night to deal with the Night Rider. Since it's only early day right now. So yeah, for whatever reason, we've got a bunch of like fire giant chariots here. I guess they're not fire giants, but flame chariots. So they could have been like a ride card thing, but these seemed like way more ancient, sort of. Maybe aged is better, but they're like a lot larger. And we've got some more like primitive marionettes, which are super gigantic in size. I just don't know what's going on with this section of the map in particular. I don't remember what's in that tower. This is the problem of playing a game like this for a person like me. Say one thing, get distracted by 5 others. So we've got dead cuckoos over here. And the cuckoos a moment ago were fighting puppets. So we've got a bunch of nobleman puppets here. Highway lookout tower. I don't remember there being anything super significant here, but I might be wrong. Glintstone Craftsman's Cookbook, that's probably why. You may be slow, but when do we learn she gets grapes from ghosts? That's kind of just the inference about us being more corporeal than the ghost that she's talking to, or firmer rather. Carian Glintblade Staff. Okay, that's actually a pretty good item for a lure through. No regrets. And the first grape that we can get in Stormvale Castle comes from a ghost, so it's just also another logical inference that she would have gotten the other ones from ghosts. I don't remember if there's a side of grace over here. Okay, yeah. Now we can go see our coveted Deathblight crab. Zzz. And a Tibia Mariner. Get some more root resins. Oh no, this is gold-tinged excrement? I thought we got some root resin over here as well, but anyway. So I really like this enemy, or these enemies rather, because they're crabs and they're eating carrion and whatnot next to a gigantic deathroot for whatever reason, because you got the people in it, and then an eye, deathroot eye. Uh-oh. He angry. He heard me looking and talking. So yeah, this deathroot crab is kind of inflicted by deathroot and has Godwin's hair growing off of him. It's got extra eyes. Actually, what status effect is this? Oh, that is Deathblight. That's what I thought, but it looked oddly blue. I was trying to roll away, bro. I'm gonna roll off the cliff. And even the little crabs have it. I'm gonna get Deathblighted. How did I land on it? Oh, that was more effective than I thought. I couldn't do anything with that? That's annoying. I'm gonna die if I get hit. Okay. I thought that would be enough to posture break him again. Oh, that's one way to posture break it. So that just gives us normal crab eggs, which is not that big of a deal. So even the little ones have golden blonde hair from Godwin's visage growing on their shells. It's one of like my favorite little spots. I don't want to fight the Tibia Mariner yet. I don't think there's another side of grace until after we go behind that Knights, so I'm going to need to skip a couple things. Trina's Lily on a body like that. Weird. So for whatever reason, this lone Lane-Del Knight roaming Liurnia has a cool Ash of War. I think it's like the Lightning Bolt one. Or it's the Incantation, something like that. But before dealing with any of these, I'm just going to go deal with the Knight Rider. Resurrection painting, which reminds me that I never got the other two paintings. Oh well, rip the dream. This way's probably fastest. King Floppy, welcome on into the stream. You presume at some point Rykard actually helped his siblings? Even if he did, then I guess the question is, like, when would this have been in the timeline? Because who were they fighting if Radagon had already wed Renala for this to have been the work of Rykard? Probably suggests that it could have been in the before times. Oh, the puppets! The puppets besiege us! Oh yeah, and speaking of all of the ghosts, there was another ghost that talks about giving grapes to the maiden over here that I did not talk to. So that might have helped contextualize things. So my apologies. What a failure of a lore run attempt. Purified ruins. Purified from what? I don't really know. Come out, one and all, from the darkness underground, and let us offer unto the maiden our eyes. So that's probably the most explicit detail that we would be getting the Shabriri grapes from ghosts. Alright. Have I been hugging the weird girl? You probably need to specify things, because that... No, yeah, we've been hugging Fia. So, for whatever reason, we've got a bunch of puppets fighting the Cuckoo Knights, who are, like, mercenaries. And with this one being a troll knight, it just shows that the Karian royals are kind of against the Cuckoos at this point in time. The DLC will have femur mariners? Okay, did not know about that. Gotta ban him for all these DLC spoilers, guys. So we got another little ghost over there. I was trying to heal in a little bit of dignity, and anyway. Chill out, Knight Rider. I forgot about that. The doubler. Wait, what am I doing? Oh! I'm not dual wielding, that's what I'm doing. Oh, kinda got lucky with that one. Oh, a bear? That's not what I wanted at all. Run away! Torrent, what are you doing? It wasn't Torrent, it was really the camera. I forgot about this. You jerk. Alright, so we'll drink our flask. Dual wield our weapon again, and then go for round 2. Don't some of the puppets play with snow globes or something? Snow globes. Like, the only thing that kind of matches that description in my mind would be the one in the Karian study hall, but I don't think he actually has anything in his hand. How did I miss? That's a 3-part attack? Silly. The train's more of the enemy than the Knight Rider is. Holy crap. We're still getting runes from our dudes. I'm gonna heal to be safe in a second. That scarab is a little bit tantalizing right now. Oh, this is a mistake. Uh-oh. Oh, that was lucky. I probably need to upgrade my weapon, I just realized. This dude feels a little bit tanky. Oh. Probably should roll inward. Uh-oh. I think I'm out of heals. Okay, I have one. That's lucky. Weapon level, it's +3. I'm out of juices. Try not to like blink while he's stuck on trees. I rolled way too early and I'm out of juice. I was gonna be so upset if that clipped me and killed me. After all this work. Between that bear, that guy hitting me way earlier. There we go. Ash of War Ice Spear. Huh. I did not remember a Knight Rider have anything to do with ice. Well, I guess Morgott has a frickin' Karyan greatsword as one of his attacks. Rhea Lucaria, hallowed hall dedicated to the study of magic. Why shut your doors to me? Am I barred from donning the crown of stone? Alright. So let's see how much HP I even had left. 196. That was pretty rough. But you know, a dub is a dub. Ooh-wee. What's new, boys? How's it going? Welcome back to the stream. And then wordless howling could mean incoherent howling. Yes, I don't disagree, but I think for the most part, a lot of this stuff dealing with the Frenzied Flame is kind of like anti-natalism, and even the ghosts want to die and say that they want to offer their grapes to her. So I think it's pretty fair to say that the ghosts might be giving her grapes, or maybe misbegotten, at least when she becomes Hayata from Marina. So now we've got our second Hayata spot over here, which is what we were trying to get to. Omae wa mou hi ni natteiru. Okay. You always kill that bear first now because you got you killed in that fight? Nice. Marionettes seem to play with or examine whatever is inside their cage bodies. So are the marionette soldiers literally the cuckoos? Jack Irish, nice to see you again. It's been a minute. I should have you guys try to come up with the most obviously fake spoilers for the DLC. Well, you may have missed the whole femur mariner comment earlier. So yeah, so let's check out our new Ice Spear Ash of War. And Happy Hep, nice to see you again. These are not Ashes of War. There they are. That is not a spear at all. This has the Karyan sigil on it. And this is why I do tend to be a little bit skeptical of even enemy drops at times, because it's just a little bit random seeming at times. This Ash of War grants an armament to the cold affinity and the following skill. Ice Spear. Skill of the warriors who served Lunar Princess Rani. Spend armament to release cold magic, then channel it into a piercing spear of ice. Usable on polearms capable of thrusting in twin blades. So there's a couple different ways we can reconcile why the hell a Knight's Cavalry would have had this Ash of War. One could be that the Knight Cavalrymen could have killed the original owner of this Ash of War and like put it in their possession. Another one could be that it could have been a co-conspirator of Rani in the plot against Godwin and the Erdtree. But that's pretty much just cope, I feel. Who is the face of the Lazuli crown? That's a good question, and I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I guess it wouldn't be Lusat or Azur. They don't really look like it. Maybe it's Goliath, the dude who was responsible for the founding Reign of Stars in 1.0. Elden Enthusiast just chucks golden pots at the dumb Deathray birds. That's a good strat for somebody that actually uses consumables. Feels bad, Dylan, and welcome back to the stream. Sorry about your runes. Rip the dream. All right, so let's go ahead and talk to Irieta. It's kind of hard to combine those two names. Hyrina? Hyrina.
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabiri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. Hello? Would you donate? I'm on a pilgrim when I eat.
So the next Shabibi grape that we'll get comes from Edgar, I believe. Or wait, is there some? There's probably another one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head for us to give her one in Bellum. Did we get one in the actual Frenzied Flame Village? No, that's the thing. Oh, yeah, no. The Bellum one is the fingerprint grape. Okay, yeah. So the next eyeball that we need is from Edgar. I don't think I rested. Let me rest. And so, Wiscoism said, sorry, what? So I'm assuming you're saying that when I just offhandedly mentioned Goliath in the 1.0 version of the game. So now that Garrulous Goldmask has his video compiling the differences between 1.0 out, you can probably just quickly reference that. But yes, in 1.0, Founding Reign of Stars was, I believe, called Goliath's Reign of Stars. And I've shown that off on my 1.0 playthrough as well. And yeah, he was apparently, you know, the founder of the Founding Reign. Strip of White Flesh. I thought this was the place to get the Land Sprout one. Maybe that's further along in the lands. Silver Pickled Fowlfoot? Oh, well, I guess it's night. I may as well go do the other night bird. Or death bird. Death right bird. Oh yeah, this would actually be our first death right bird to face. And maybe I should upgrade my weapon. So here's our map marker. Our Side of Grace should be right next to it. Right. Now we just gotta follow the Pizza Hut path. And then Crunchy was saying it's interesting that Morgott uses spectral swords though, like a golden version of Karian sorcery. I would be fine with it, except that he has a blue glintstone in his golden sword. It's like, what the hell, man? No, but I really do like Morgott's kind of spectral stuff there. I was not trying to go this way. I followed the path too much, but I think there is another Site of Grace here, which is fine to get, because this will be easier to go to like the Karian study hall later. Without trying to traverse down from the Painter Shack. Honestly, I should really just like go between a lot of these places off stream so I could just teleport. Just not interact with any enemies so that way I don't like get any extra runes, and that way we don't spend so much time traveling between places. Although maybe this is better for the stream overall because I can kind of look at chat, not that I've done it in this little monologue here, and bounce off what you guys are saying between things. Alright, so if Raya Lucaria is that way, then we want to go this way. Okay, I see our new Pizza Hut. Although this one isn't actually Pizza Hut. This is just where the Side of Grace is, and then the Deathbird is a little bit to the south of that. Lance Talisman is on a golem near the arena in Limgrave? Okay. No, I was not talking about the Lance Talisman, I don't think. Dylan says, what is the process that makes a Shabiri grape not just a human eyeball? It could just be like an eyeball melting due to the flame of Frenzy's madness, perhaps. But that's a really good question. I don't know. Jack loves the pictures of the stupid-looking ghost worms, the ones that we got pictures of. Yeah, we've got an emote of that on the Discord server that people love. It's like a little hog face. Oh man, I just realized because this is a Deathrite bird, I'm gonna have to show off some attacks. So I probably... Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go back to the side of Grace and level up. Because I'm probably gonna die to a couple attacks here. Well, I will if I do it like that. Deathbird's OP. Okay. So 1 more point to level up. Should probably level up 1 more in a bit, but we'll continue to suffer. The Catagum Golem shot runs on Flintstone? Pebbles and Bam Bam? I'm assuming? Nah. Got auto-corrected. Get wrecked. I whiffed both of those attacks. That's cool. So yeah, this is obviously a Deathrite bird. So it has wings that are spectral in nature, and I'll try to show some of this stuff off. Actually, let me... That's what I get for trying to cycle between my items real quick. Chill, baby, damn. This is gonna hurt. The things we do for Rancor spells. I might just die to get a good look at the dudes in its wings. This is the worst part about playing on console, that you don't have a photo mode to show off cool stuff like that. Anyway, if you look at the Deathrite bird's wings, you'll see like people wielding the death ritual spears within them. They're like blue spectral dudes. And I think one of the coolest things about the Deathrite birds in general, or the death birds, is that they actually have a bunch of corpses in their trunks, which are hard to show off. So if you look at the skulls right above me, there are literal bodies that are within the Deathrite birds. And I guess in the grand scheme of things, we might be able to add this to the list of enemies or beings slash creatures which could potentially be related to grafting. Okay, so it wasn't the best of angles, but if you guys go back 5 seconds and pause the stream, you might be able to see it. I'll need to turn it back tonight. So I guess I never really thought about the potential of Deathrite birds being grafted, but maybe it is actually a thing. Corn says, what's my theory on the Revenants cursed by Marika or prior to her? Well, I kind of recently learned that in Blythe's Japanese dialogue to Darrowil, he says he didn't want a man like Darrowil to end up in an Everjail rotting into a Revenant. And I'm like, is he speaking literally here? Is this how Revenants are made? But generally speaking, before that revelation, I would have assumed that they were a pre-Marika type thing. Because they're like undead rather than immortal. A little bit surprised I lived with that one. So I need to get this dude's HP low and put it into phase 2 for it to do its super cool explosion. Because it's been doing its regular cool explosion, not its super cool one. Here we go. Alright, I was too slow on my roll on that one. Oh, yeah, that was really cool. You fought a Fred Glintstone in PvP recently? Was he wielding like a great club, and did he have like ancestral follower horned headband on? Because if so, that would be an amazing Fred Glintstone rep. And then Jack says, here's a serious question. What do I think is contained originally in Alexander? Because that's what living jars are. They're a casket, basically. So who is it? I don't think it's appropriate to say who, but in like a singular sense. But like, it's more like who are they? I feel like he's probably got the remains of multiple people within him. He had the spike fist, actually, not even a mage. That's even funnier. It makes sense now that you think of it. Why? Alright. No. Oh yeah, I needed to turn it tonight. Because he's a caveman? But yeah, that's exactly why he would need like a club or the withered Erdtree club thing. Whatever it's called. The branch. Uh-oh. I rolled too early. Damn it. Damn it. Okay. It is pretty annoying fighting these dudes melee, mostly because of the camera and trying to like lock onto its body and or its head effectively. This is gonna hurt. I got lucky. Oh, this is one of the cool attacks. So yeah, those are death ritual spears that it like fires out of its wings from its little soldier dudes. So I seem to have finally put it into phase 2. It's got some more Rancor spell type attacks. It will also have a super cool like 5-fingered style explosion, and that's speaking a little bit metaphorically there. I was not trying to lock onto its head. Uh-oh. I don't see where it went. Okay. That's annoying. Oh, this is it! This is it! So that attack right there shoots in like a 5-pointed star pattern. Which some people have wondered whether or not that's supposed to be linked to a literal 5 fingers. I rolled way too early. I forgot that I used my lantern. What the hell just happened? Okay. And the flames still hit me? That's annoying. Okay, I could have played that a bit better. Oh, sweet. Okay, so I couldn't exactly show it off with that camera angle, but that's one of my favorite attacks. I feel like I've been saying that's one of my favorite a lot for Elden Ring. Iris says, you think that's because the living jars seem to take on the personalities of those within them? Because Alexander becomes more brave after taking a piece of Radon. I don't know if he actually becomes braver as much as it is just that he like faces his fears. So there might be some component of it that like eating more warriors makes him more brave. But that's kind of my point, that I feel like the warrior jars themselves are more collective beings than actual... I don't want to say like actual individuals. Like I think the warrior jars as we find them their personalities are those of an individual, but I think that those individuals are due to being a conglomeration of other corpses. Where the hell are my roots? There they are. That's annoying. And that popped my shield. I should have rolled inward. Okay. It's annoying. Not like the death. So what I mean by it's annoying, I'm just thinking about the camera angle, because I didn't want to roll inward just because it's annoying trying to actually see what the death bird is doing when you roll it that way. Like, the attack was actually fine. It was just my choice to do that annoyed me. And then Gallimore said, apparently the game considers Moonlight Plateau's Chapel of to be the Chapel of Anticipation when loading into the save. That's weird. I wonder if it's because of like a similar elevation thing. That's the grab. Oh, that's lucky. Screw your face. Oh no. I can't believe I dodged all of that. There goes the bubble. YOLO. I couldn't roll? I was spamming it. I shouldn't have even been out of stamina. Maybe did I cycle into the run animation because I was holding circle briefly? I don't understand that death. Maybe I was out of stamina. Delia says Alexander doesn't seem to be excited to have, or doesn't say anything about eating actual chunks of Radahn. Well, some people have looked at the red hair within Alexander's innards as being the red hair of Radahn. Damn it. Okay, that's what I get. I was trying to be a little bit greedy and press the attack. I need to drink my flask before I go into that fight, maybe. Or maybe I save it for phase 2 for the like super big explosion. Or maybe I just don't get hit. Forehead. What do I think is the best ending in Elden Ring? I don't think they're all particularly great. And you think it's the Age of the Accursed because it brings back the Age of the Omen, who America stole their land from? Wait. Was it... Somebody came up with a new Dung Eater video being the best one. I thought it was somebody else, but I wonder if that's your video. Do you actually have a YouTube channel, Jack? Dung Eater best ending? No, it's Levo. I thought it was Levo. Yeah, if you're not aware, Jack, we actually have another lore tuber in the chat who shows up from time to time. He was here earlier today. He may have already bounced out. Level of It Lore made a new video called Why Dung Eater's Ending is the Best. Not what you think. So you might be interested in that. You didn't even know where that somebody made a video on that? Chadwick says, why do these birds have huge head wounds? Are they related to the troll head wounds? So I've unironically wondered whether or not the Deathrite birds and death birds have the same kind of scars on them as like the Black Knives and the Destined Death kind of crack, which you can see in Malekith's Black Blade as well. Damn it. Okay. That was a camera thing. I don't know if I would have been able to roll, though. God, I hate Deathrite birds sometimes. Uh-oh, that's not good. I already put him in phase 2. I'm gonna die. I was sipping. I should have kept panic rolling, but I thought he moved off to the right. You know what? Maybe I should hate Deathrite birds more than I do. They do give me trouble. Obviously, this one's a lot stronger than the others, and I am using a really weak weapon. But I feel like it isn't the weapon's fault. It's definitely my fault to some degree, but also just like a bit of the camera not being actually able to see what it does. And the sad thing is this isn't even going to be the first time where I've done a stream where a Deathrite bird has kicked my ass for a good chunk of it. But this is when I get to be a bit stubborn. I whiffed it. I hate that move. Oh, that wasn't even the one that did the extra flame at the end. I should not have healed that because I had my flask. That's the one that I hate. Damn it. That was awkward. I don't know if I got hurt from that or not. Uh-oh, it's gonna hurt. Alright, so we're officially in phase 2 territory. Come on, man. And because I couldn't lock on, I couldn't strafe appropriately. Maybe I could have if I just like kept going one direction. But then I wouldn't be looking at the bird to see what its follow-up attack would be. Whew. Rob asks Jack, where does it say the Omen owned the land? So I think Jack might be coming to an inference because in one of Miyazaki's new interviews, he says that the lion dancers are from a pre-Erdtree civilization and they seem to have Omen horn iconography on them. So I could see why he would come to that conclusion, but that's a good question to ask nonetheless. Not this time, sucker. Uh-oh. That's the grab? No, that's just the deathlight screen. Is that the explosion? I guess we're in phase 2 now, y'all. Oh my god, and now he does it? Damn it! They're cheating. I was trying to roll it. I rolled way too early. Not the stupid flames. I don't want to heal, but I also don't want to risk it. Damn it. I should probably risk it. There we go. Okay, so I didn't actually take damage the one time. Whew. Uh-oh, uh-oh. I was trying to roll away, but I was too slow. That was definitely me. He's doing it again? Get me off of here! Okay. I thought his flames were about to kill me. We did it! Ancient Death Rancor. Yeah, this one's actually a pretty tough enemy for this area in the game. And I'm not saying that just because he was kicking my ass, but he has a lot more HP than everything else. Damn it. Sorcery of the Servants of Death. Summons a horde of vengeful spirits that chase down foes. Charging enhances potency. They are cinders of the ancient death hex, raked from the fires of ghost flame by deathbirds. So, because these are cinders of the ancient death hex, I've tried looking into this linguistically, and it seems a little bit inconclusive as to whether or not cinders are unburnt fuel in like a wood product or like a flammable object, whether or not they're completely spent in as far as the Japanese goes, because I believe in English cinder means something that's been burned, but not necessarily something that's been burned completely and couldn't be burned again, like ash. So I guess the Japanese doesn't quite make that distinction, although I might just be misremembering between the two languages there. So anyway, if there are certain things within Ghost Flame which doesn't burn, and those things go on to become the Rancor, I think that overall would give us a good indication of what these spirits are, in that they are the things that are not entirely burned by Ghost Flame. Because they're spiritual, I guess? Maybe. I don't know. Is Estelle wounded, or does the skull just form open over time as it's bursting with the cosmos? I would think that Estelle's situation is different, and that its skull isn't like wounded, but that's just probably how it forms, because it's kind of reminiscent of like how Usat looks, and all of the withered Estelles, if you want to call them that. Galamoth had a feeling the Lords of Cinder wouldn't make sense if they couldn't be burned again. Well, that could actually still kind of make sense, because like they were burned once, and so they're kind of unfit to keep being burned over and over again. And even like our Ashen character is unfit to become a Lord because we can't hold fire. We are like the flameless ash, but nonetheless, the cinders might still have a little bit of heat and flame left within them, which is why they give, or why they have their heat taken by the Ashen one from Dark Souls 3. Alright, so that was a bit of an ordeal, all things considered. So let's go visit Vare now. Wait. Why did I want to come here? What was I doing? I was going to visit Hayata, wasn't I? I think that's what it was. No? I mean, yes, but no, because I needed to visit Edgar first. Was it just because it was night? Oh, I think I know what it was. I was like, wait, land squirts, and then... Yeah, I think it was just night. We've still got our glintstone cave over there. Damn it. I always get reminded of, like, everything else that exists along the way of the things that I want to do. Alright, so I'm going to go north to at least get the Ray Lucarian and Gates Grace open. Then I might visit the entrance of the Liurnian mines. And then warp on over to Vare. May probably visit the mines first, now that I think about it. Alright, Jack, you have a good night, and or day, whatever it is, and hopefully we'll catch you on the next one. Can I read your message about the Golden Order? Did you... I must have missed it. Okay. The Golden Order, if anything, seems to act more like a parasite. I'm going the wrong way. I had a feeling when I was looking at the buildings. The Golden Order, if anything, seems to act more like a parasite, is stealing the land and resources of the natives and giving nothing back in return. So, about that, I'm going to be a bit pedantic here and just bring up my classic argument that I think the Golden Order appears later in the timeline than many other people do, which isn't necessarily contradicting what you say there, but it kind of does in a certain way, because I feel like there's a bit of a gap before the pre-Erdtree time and the rise of the Golden Order as a result of that, which might influence our opinions about this matter to begin with. Because I don't really see the Golden Order itself as a parasite. But it may have like benefited from like previous parasitism? I'm too far south, okay. Glad the jellyfish weren't pissed at me. Should be around the bend. It's like here, right? Hey. Oh, I'm gonna miss out on some cracked crystals. Oh no. Hey guys, who would have imagined there's like a little walkway that goes from the left of the entrance. This is like one of the poorer things about Elden Ring, where it just becomes a bit too repetitive. There are a couple rooms in this tunnel which I do like, but the tunnels just end up becoming tunnels, which are tunnels in almost every part of the game. And caves. You got the Greater Will and the Golden Order mixed up. Oh no, that's fine. You think the Greater Will is a parasite. Okay. Yeah, I could see what you mean by that then. But then that also raises the question of whether or not you think the Greater Will had a role in the lands between before the Erdtree's arrival, which by all accounts should probably still have been a thing if you believe the Elden Ring to have been in the land then. And then Throne 6810, nice to see you again. What if the Omen were a disease brought on by the Newmans tampering with the Elden Ring? Haven't seen any DLC content, just an honest question. No, I think that's a very good question, and I've wondered something similar along those lines, but of course my interpretation would be that if there was a kind of meddling going on, I think it at first would be easier to attribute it to what I would call the Crucible, which would be the ancient Erdtree time. But if the Omen do predate that time after all, then they might not be Crucible touched, which might lead back into your question of whether or not they are the result of tampering with the Elden Ring, which it is possible. Alright, so let's go to Vare and then Egger. This would be fastest. Sorry, I was hydrating there real quick. And Fearless Noob, nice to see you. How can you never get bored of this game? You have 6 saves prepped for the DLC. One where you're frenzied, one where you burn yourself but reverse frenzy. You keep making new builds and today you realize you can't make more than 10. Feels bad, man. Actually, what system are you playing on? Because if you're playing on PC, you can kind of make more than that amount of builds if you save scum. by duping your saves in your save file folder. But if you're on console, that makes it a little bit more difficult to do, unfortunately. Oh yeah, let's go see Vare. And then Jack, you mixed up the Golden Order and the Greater Will again there. Cole says if the DLC has no teleporting chests, they'll be disappointed. Oh yeah, so you're on PC? So yeah, if you're on PC, if you go into your Steam folder, and it's going to be the one with a bunch of numbers, it'd probably be easier to Google it. Then you could just copy and paste files before different junctions in the game if you want to have a bunch of different builds available to you. So we get the Rose Church, which is inundated with like blood pustules, tumors, or whatnot, and then we get a random Sanguine Noble. So Sanguine Nobles, for whatever reason, are kind of like the Black Knife Assassins in that they kind of have like corporeal arms and legs, but they don't have faces. And this dude also kind of has Omen hordes growing on him as well, maybe because of First Omen blood. I should probably respect it a little bit more than I am right now, huh? But not when something is weak to jump attacks. I do like that it's got like an extra horn coming out of its foot, almost like a stiletto. So we get a blood rose from that. And these Elven Orcs are kind of normal. I mean, relatively speaking, they're normal. They're just second gen Elven Orcs. But they don't have any crazy eye effects going on. Like the gold ones in the snowfield next to Ordina, the liturgical town, or the blood red ones in the Mogwin Dynasty area. Yeah, and the red ones in the Dynasty have additional horns as well.
Ah, there you are. You claimed a great rune and had your audience with the two fingers at the round table hole. What was your impression?
So this is one of the times where the choice you make doesn't really matter if you say no, because you can redo it anyway. So that's what we'll do, just because I think Vare's dialogue is kind of funny. Kind of like Sullivis as well.
You don't say. Well, what a relief that must be. You may go then. My work here is done. May the wisdom of the two fingers guide you. Oh? Is something wrong? You don't say. Well, what a relief that must be. You may go then. May the wisdom... Oh? Aha. Your intuition serves you well. My doubts had been piling up, you see. The words of the two fingers cannot be trusted. Truly, naught but rambling, senile delusions. I believe that when the Elden Ring was shattered, the two fingers were corrupted, their guidance skewed. Even worse, the fingers harbor no love for our kind. That's the part that irks the most.
All right, so Vare's dialogue is one of the most direct doubts of the veracity of the two fingers and their purported claims about the Tarnished and their relationship to becoming Elden Lord. So I just really love it when games kind of allow players avenues to question authority, because I think it's a very valuable trait that people should have, with some caveats that I don't think it's always good to like rebel against authority for the sake of doing so, but I think it's a good practice to at the very least question authority and question what you're doing and whatnot. So Without Horn said, as a guy that did basically no poise damage, you had such a hard time with the nobles. So yeah, there's a little bit of give and take because certain enemies are weaker to like the greatsword style of attacks, but obviously deathbirds are not. So it's a lot harder for me to deal with the deathbirds with the whole greatsword strat, even if I am using the holy damage. So yeah, deathbirds are weaker to bleed and freeze than posture stuff, unless you like super like stack all that together.
Oh, I have a gift for you. Something fit only for the wise.
Festering bloody finger.
A means for circumventing the draw of the two fingers. Give it a try, won't you? And if it please you, may we meet again. I've high hopes for you, my lambkin. Be sure to try that finger I gave you. There's no reason to dither. The tarnished were spurned by grace, forsaken by the two fingers. And now they ask you to mend their crumbling world? Your loyalties are misplaced with them. Be sure to try that. Be sure to try that finger I gave you. I'm quite certain that you'll take to it.
So Ainat says, if you've watched The Preacher, Vare's voice actor is Herstar, or is it Hairstar? And it's so funny. Alright. I heard a scarab. I don't think this is an important one. Oh yeah, so these are just the scarabs that go up to Smaragd. So we don't need to worry about any up until we get to Testu's rice. So my half dyslexic ass thought it was Tetsu's rice for a very long time, but it's more like Testu. Testu patience. Anyway. Smithing stone. So yeah, we've got a bunch of pavilions in Liurnia which have what I call the primeval sorcerer statue on it. Don't really know what their purpose was. Anyway, the whole reason we've come here so far is so we could talk to this ghost who will elucidate us on what we're about to see. Ah, the poor fellow! Gone perfectly mad. Love, revenge, the frenzied flame melts it all away. I don't know why I tried to talk to the ghost again as though it would say something different. So, I believe if you kill Edgar before all of this, that this ghost doesn't actually spawn in, which is pretty neat. So as we come up to the shack, we will see corpses of Misbegotten, which do only spawn if Edgar is here. And then as we come up, we dismount because we're being invaded. So Edgar the Revenger is just attacking us willy-nilly, despite our helping of him in the castle. So he's still got ancient Erdtree worship's incantations. And if I had a Frenzy Flame Stone, I would try to drop it to show that he doesn't actually get healed by it. I'm stuck on the thing. I thought that was going to be backstab for sure. Oh, he doesn't have as much HP. So we got our Shibiri Grape, our Banished Knight's Halberd +8, the Raw Meat Dumpling. I think we got 3 of those. I wasn't paying attention. 1, 2. Okay. And as we come into the shack, we've got 1 Raw Meat Dumpling, 2, 3, 4 and 5 raw meat dumplings. So I don't recall if these dudes actually have these dumplings before Edgar shows up, but nonetheless, with him actually legitimately dropping them from the invasion, I think it's meant to suggest that he's been eating all of these raw meat dumplings, which state: a pungent raw meatball made succulent by virtue of being on the verge of turning, restores HP but also poisons the user. Not recommended for those who prefer to know the origin of their meats. So I'm not exactly what's like in the little meats themselves, like the little specks. Maybe it's gold, maybe it's corn, I don't know. But they kind of do look like intestines or maybe a bit of brains. Not that I think he's literally eating brains, but nonetheless, I do think he may have resorted to cannibalism, and this cannibalism may have caused him to lose his sense of self. Or, like, we could discuss, like, the whole prion situation, which we talked about a couple times on stream with Edgar. So let's go ahead and check out that Banished Knight Halberd. Hey, Orana, nice to see you. Heard me talking about Deathbirds? Do I know what that is on the Deathbird's right of wings? Death right bird wings, yes. You used to think it were trees, but you realize it looks like thorns, maybe. So the wings themselves actually have spirits of the dead on them. It's a little bit easier to see when you're looking at a still picture. And the priests of the Deathbirds are baked into their wings. And so they're holding on to, like, the 7-branched spears, the ritual spears, the death ritual spears. I think that's the actual name that you can loot from one of the Deathrite birds later in the game. Yeah, Pony, I had to start my stream really late, and I had a short stream yesterday, so I'm trying to make up for it now. And then Waste of Flesh 1, welcome on into the stream. And Dill, welcome on in. They don't spawn until you've done his quest. That's what I thought. Thanks for the confirmation. Oh, wait, I meant to read that. No. A finely crafted halberd intricately engraved with an ancient motif. Given to knights who, whether by misfortune or misdeed, were forced to abandon their homes. Most of these knights were sent to the fringes, where they were forced to start anew with only despair for company. So yeah, another through line with Edgar and the Frenzied Flame stuff would be this thing with despair, although it's very subtextual and it's kind of hard to elaborate on without other things to give it more support. So I'll probably leave that alone for now. So now that we've done that, we can go back and visit Hayeta. We should be here. And Renus, nice to see you again. Thanks for the weapon, Edgar. You put Ice Spear on that and I ripped through the game. It's funny because I just got Ice Spear earlier today on the stream because I totally forgot that you get that from a Knight Cavalry for whatever reason. So I could definitely see how you made all that work together. Hey, Pony. Yeah, everything is going pretty well. Just lamenting your sleep schedule, death out loud. My condolences. And any more news about, like, the surgery or anything like that?
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That
Here we go.
I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
They're human eyes. If we don't say anything, I'm pretty sure we just talk to her again and she asks the question. So just for the memes, I'm going to do that now and not say anything. They haven't called back yet? That sucks. Yeah.
I wonder, what are Shabriri grapes? Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
They're human eyes.
No, That's not possible. Not all of those people. Their own. So those noises I heard were. Sorry. I'm alright now. Don't mind me.
Impeccable voice acting. And so yeah, if Hayata is kind of always aligned with the three fingers, is this just her acting? There's a lot of potential ploys for deception here that are hard to parse through.
I apologize. You only did as I asked. I'll be fine. Think no more of it.
Now, I love this part here. It reminds me of that scene in The Goonies, which is probably my favorite scene, when Chunk is being interrogated by the Fratelli brothers and like their mother. And so they're threatening to put the child's hand in a blender unless he tells them everything. And so he tells like the first part of his story, like he goes over like his life story at that point. And then other shenanigans happen, and then it cuts back to Chunk, and then he goes, and then this is the worst thing I ever done. One time in the 6th grade, I went to the movie theater, but I put a bunch of fake puke in my jacket, and I went up to the balcony, and then I made it sound like this. Huh. 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 And then I poured it over the side, and then this was horrible. Everybody started getting sick and puking all over each other, and it was the worst thing. It was the worst thing I ever done in my entire life. So yeah, just a lot of fond memories of stories about puke, apparently, in my life.
I apologize. You only did as I asked. I'll be fine. Think no more of it.
Yeah, Pony's having some cheek issues, Mercy, so it should be a minor surgery, but like things got switched up on him. And then Arna says, does Irina's body disappear when we run into Hayata? Actually, no. The thing is, and I can show this off now, I'll talk to Hayata again before she teleports to Bellum, and then I will check out Irina for you.
Is that you over there? I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat. The distant light is far and frail. So faint it can't be seen by the naked eye. But with everyone's eyes together, it appears. Finally, it all makes sense. I'm certain now. I will be a finger maiden. I've gleaned something very important. I'm certain now.
Alright, so that's pretty much that. So, Irina's dialogue, or Hayata's dialogue here about needing everybody's eyes to see it is pretty cool because I wonder if it's kind of like the analogy of three blind men describing an elephant where one touches the trunk, one touches the tail, one touches like the side of the body or something like that. And like through each of their descriptions, they think they're all talking about like a different kind of creature than one singular elephant because they don't have the full picture because they're blind. So is that what's going on with Irina as Hayata? Anyway, to answer, who said it? Orna's question, you can always go back to Irina's body and it will remain here for the rest of the game. However, while Hayata is active, this prompt which says she's dead appears. And if you ever kill Hayata or she dies or whatnot, then this prompt will disappear. So is she an imposter? But if she is an imposter, why does the prompt disappear after this fact? They have the same clothes on, they're both blind, they have the same voice actor, actress, so maybe one's body isn't even necessary to be themselves. And if anything, this might be like a good piece of evidence to try to build up the headcanon that Marika and Radagon could be of two different bodies, and maybe like Marika died and Radagon kind of can be to Marika what Hayata is to Irina. But then, of course, that doesn't really answer the question why Radagon would willingly be crucified for essentially all eternity in the Erdtree with Marika if he had his own body. And then, of course, when would they have been combined, I suppose. So as we've come up to the Bellum Highway, we get another time to speak to Bach. And I believe Melina will tell us about him as well. Let me sit at this side of Grace. Yeah, okay. Talk to Melina. So I definitely missed this dialogue in my first playthrough, but I also mostly missed Bach on my first playthrough, for what it's worth.
Your seamster, Bok. He is always eager to see your return. Please, will you talk to him? When you can. I'm sure he would be much contented.
So we're going to actually have two dialogues from Melina here. A jump scare warning.
Bok the seamster, at your service, master. Ready to make adjustments to your garments. Oh, going so soon? Please do be safe on your journeys.
Potato's never seen that dialogue? I don't blame you. They really do sneak in quite a few easily missable things like that. So I guess I need to alter some stuff.
Bok the sea ready to make adjustment.
I already did this, didn't I? Yeah.
Oh, going so soon? Please do.
Apparently not. Maybe I need to like warp back in.
Bok the ready to make.
This dude's stealing all my runes.
Oh, please.
Either that or Melina actually gives the rest of the dialogue in the abandoned coffin side of Grace. Maybe it would just be the first Altus Plateau side of Grace, whether it be the abandoned coffin or the other one. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass time until nightfall for the Night Rider. Actually, I'm not going to do the Night Rider now. I'm going to go to the mines. Wait. Orna says, has anyone ever seen Merrick and Radagon together? Did they have a wedding? Did nobody ever miss one of them when the other was active? You find this entire thing so hard to wrap your mind around? Well, I mean, Merrick is God, and we're told that Radagon made all of the affairs of the Carians private when he was their kind of patriarch. So it wouldn't surprise me if something similar happened with Marika and Radagon. And, like, who's really going to challenge her on that? So you really want to, like, cast out on the Elden Lord and the literal god of the realm? Might not be the best of ideas. Alright, so as I said before, I do get a little bit fatigued by the tunnels and the mines and the caves in Elden Ring, but I really do enjoy this room and another room similar to this in the Precipice of Anticipation, because we've got a much simpler style of chest, which doesn't have Erdtree iconography on it whatsoever, or lion iconography on it, and we've also got this a sculpture of a woman without hands. Many people believe this to be Marika. This is kind of the same lady that you would see on their churches within the old banished knight-style fortifications, such as Stormvale, Castle... No, not Castle Morn. What's the other one? Castle Redmane, Castle Soul, and there's another one that I'm forgetting. They kind of have the same church. Chapel of Anticipation, I think, has stuff like this as well. Anyway, so I've wondered whether or not this statuette is supposed to be pre-Marika, because this stuff kind of seems pre-Marika. So let's go ahead and open this. And I guess I was trying to show this off, but I wouldn't be surprised if some people think this would be related to the Godskins, but I don't really see it. But we don't really see that design elsewhere either, so we get a somber smithing stone for all of that work. Hey, Emily, Aiden, nice to see you again. Maybe Morgott and Margit learn to project a specter of himself from America. And yeah, that's another possibility that is worth considering, that if Margott, that means both Margit and Morgott, can project themselves elsewhere in the lands between, who's to say that America couldn't do the same thing herself? Oh no, it lived. Visions of Rump. And Ethan Washington, nice to see you again. What's up with Bach's mom's voice being on a prattling pate in Mount Gelmir? It's because she thinks you're beautiful. And then Ethan says, you got to keep in mind Marika was in a tree for most of the time that people would know of. I don't know if she was actually in the tree up until, like, up before the shattering. But yeah. Ooh, a digger staff. That's pretty cool. Staff of a sorcerer miner who extracts glintstone from crystal tunnels. The staff itself is a tool used to mine, and the ferrule is also embedded with a glintstone. Boosts the power of stone digger sorceries. I don't remember what ferrule is. I think it just means the tip. Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's what it was. Because when I see ferrule, I think ferrule, whatever you want to pronounce it as, I think of ferrite, which is an older way to refer to iron, but I know that's not the case for this. Ponyboy wouldn't be surprised if Marika was super removed from the public eye the way the British royalty occasionally go into hiding. Like, short of media, how many of us ever really see the president and don't just assume they're in the fancy house in DC? That's a fair point, yeah. Gojira, welcome on into the stream. You need to know who the hell is Mikola? He is the hand of the blade of Mikola. He is the brother of Melania. So I'm assuming you want actually some more grounded information about him. There's not a ton in the game. He is described as an Empyrean, but for whatever reason, we don't see if he has a Shadowhound beast like Ronnie or Marika have. And I've wondered whether or not Melania kind of serves as his Shadowhound beast, or if not his Shadowhound beast, his shadow? Oh, fudge. So, other things relating to Mikola is that he's the most fearsome Empyrean of all because he can allegedly strive clean the hearts of men with love. And he also possesses the wisdom and the allure of a god. So, in the words of Ron Burgundy, he's kind of a big deal for being such a little guy who's afflicted with the curse of childhood at birth because of his cursed birth by being born of a single individual of Marika and Radagon. You forgot about Stone Digger sorceries? Yeah, I guess there's really not a ton of legitimate Stone Digger sorceries that aren't kind of claimed by the Carians for themselves, now that you mention it. Is Mikola his own mother and father? I mean, if you think of the way that he dispossesses himself of his fate, you might unironically make that argument. But I know what you're actually getting at, and my answer would be no. But it is really awkward trying to talk about those issues of identity when we have characters like Millicent kind of being like Millennia, but also different. I was trying to go for the backstab, but I guess my plan has changed. Ethan says the story trailer credits him as having blinding strength, which very much sounds like a physical thing. Well, if you think of blinding as being a light thing, I could see it being a magic thing, because he did practice Golden Order fundamentalism with Radagon, and he gifted him Rings of Light, so I could see it working multiple ways. I would kind of almost assume that his physical stature would be too diminutive for the stereotypical strength that one would think of. But considering the size of the Tarnished and like the size of the Fire Giant, literal size isn't the best indicator of his strength in a FromSoft game. Hey guys, look! A little platforming section in the mines, which builds right off of an elevator in a certain kind of way. I know there's like a bunch of smithing stones at the top of the thing that I'm not going to worry about. Actually, I thought there's one other thing around here. Do they need to parkour? Oh, is this where you fall? No, this is way too high up. Wait, nope, I was right. Somber smithing stone tier 3. This is the part of the mine that I hate. Because I always feel like I'm doing this wrong. Oh yeah, and as you look down into the chasm below us, if you want to call it a chasm, you can see the little Crystallian boss, which is fun. I do like that little kind of attention to detail. What was that? I got hit by a pot or something. I don't believe this connects towards where I need to go. I think this doesn't. No, it does. Okay. So that just all came back down together. We're doing fine. Oh, that's just a candle. I was like, is that a sign of grace? I don't remember that being there. America's the friends we made along the way. He seems kind of good at everything. You guess physical was the wrong word. You just meant he could probably fight. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, sorry. I'm a little bit pedantic as far as like the choice of words go when talking about the lore. Just because a lot of things get taken for granted, which ends up confusing people at times. Don't kill me. Let me get the shortcut. Sweet. I do like that if you try to steal the smithing stones that these things are actively mining, that will aggro them. Otherwise, they don't really pay too much attention. Oh yeah, and I should talk about that these glintstone miners are covered in glintstone. I've wondered whether or not they have any kind of direct or indirect relation to the mudmen or the claymen of the ancient dynasties. If it's a similar kind of principle at play here. Marionettes are kind of always a little bit terrifying. It's because they can pile up damage real quick. I thought there's a dude on the right. Maybe that's the dude that stepped out. Right. And Orna says, with timey-wimey stuff, maybe Mikola could be his own father. I don't want to deal with those ones yet. Don't think I have much option. I knew there was another one. Oh, it was up in the sky. How low are they coming? I got stuck by the brazier. Brazier. How do you actually pronounce it? Brazier? I'm trying to like lock on before I get sniped. Whew, there we go. Yo, I thought blinding strength is an interesting choice of words for the trailer because it's not what you associated Mikola with. For sure. Mikola has Prince Lothric vibes with Millennia being his Lorien. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Although Mikola seems a little bit more capable in some ways. I guess we don't really see Lorien or Lothric in his prime rather though. I think I'm just gonna run past things. Oh no, I'm not, because I wanna loot. So I noticed that one glintstone miner was much larger than the other ones. I don't know why, but he had a lot more health too. Maybe he's like an overseer or something. The equivalent. Elden enthusiast needs to look at some alchemy works again, where miners are depicted being forced to look for gems in caves a lot, like depicted in Elden Ring. Oh man, I'm out of juice. Hell yeah, we got that super valuable glintstone scrap. I was trying to backstab. Oh, and then I hit the wall. Weird. Rip. Oh man, that sucks. Tragic. It feels when you probably would have been fine if you just L1 or R1 spammed. I say L1 spammed because it looked like he was wielding two great swords or curved swords, so he probably would have been power stancing. So this one goes to the boss, so I'm gonna go the other way. Brazier. I thought there were rats in here. Apparently not. Okay. Wait, what did I even just pick up? I thought it was a sorcery. Shatter Earth? Was that what it's called? One of the glintstone sorceries of the Academy of Raya Lucaria imbues the ferrule of the caster's staff with magic, then thrusts it into the ground to create a magical shockwave. Allows one follow-up attack. A stone digger sorcery used by the glintstone miners of the Crystal Tunnel. At the Academy, use of this sorcery was a stigma that marked out failed scholars. It was a stigma probably because they were trying to tunnel through the base of Raya Lucaria or like look for glintstone there, rather than being able to rely on their own powers. I don't know. Alright, so this might be rough. I don't remember how many heals I actually have left. 2. That should be enough. Some more somber smithing stones. Because I'm pretty sure this is the singular Crystallian fight as opposed to the duo. Oh yeah. Hey, view limit. Yeah, so this stream isn't too long. I just had to start late because of some real life things going on, unfortunately. And how's it going, my man? I may have blundered a little bit. There we go. GG. No re. He's done skis. Yeah, so this is part of why I also like the colossal weapons. Even though this isn't technically a colossal. It's because I don't need a blunt weapon to actually be able to crack open crystallians anymore. Smithing stone miners bell bearing tier 1. So yeah, in most of the mines in Elden Ring, you'll eventually run up on a golden meteorite, which is reminiscent of the types of meteorites that we can see in the walls of the Divine Towers. I have wondered whether or not meteorites brought gold to the Lands Between. I've wondered whether or not gold is native to the Lands Between, but like struck the land through lightning bolts, but we just don't really know. So let's go ahead and warp back up here. Today's finally the contest news day, apparently. I thought it was supposed to be the 20th that they were being announced, like right before the game went live. Glad to hear that, though. Alright, thanks, Elden Enthusiast. Yeah, be curious to see those pictures in the Discord. Global Sequence has been doing a ringed finger weapon run. Oh, the like finger reader, not finger reader, but the finger creeper one. Yeah. You know, that's a really cool weapon that I haven't used a lot, just because it's kind of goofy and it's a little bit out of the way. But that might be a fun one to play around with now that you mention it. And then Chadwick says, holy crap, did gold bring down Fair Missoula? That has definitely been a common thought by many people. I'm not sure how that really works with the timeline, whether or not Fair Missoula was already in the air. Because of the death route there, it makes it seem as though it should have been like on the ground at some point. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so V-Limit's saying that the 20th is when the show itself will release the public info, but the rules originally claimed today is when the winners will be contacted. Okay, I thought that's when they were going to be decided, not necessarily contacted. Makes sense that they would want to confirm things beforehand, though. You never thought of gold as a meteor that way? Always just as the Elden Beast in that form. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't necessarily think all gold has to come from the Elden Beast or even that golden meteor because of stuff like that. So, let's talk to Bach again.
Bach, this is ready to make...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Melena's follow-up dialogue will be in Altus Plateau about being born of a mother. Alright, so let's quickly deal with the Knight Rider. Actually, let's not quickly deal with the Knight Rider. Let's upgrade our frickin' weapon. Actually, do I even want to keep using this? I don't know. That's huge. It's a really annoying paradigm shift. I'm glad that I could annoy the hell out of you with these paradigm shifts then. Yeah, because like all of those meteorites are found in the Divine Towers, it leads me to believe that that stuff is ancient.
Now, look at you. Those eyes tell a story of a challenger who's felled his mark. Find 'em well. Now lay out your arms.
Alright, so he gives us that line of dialogue after we defeat Godric, and I forgot to talk to Hugh about that. So let's go ahead and strengthen this. Let's look at what else I have. Oh yeah, I didn't read the crystal knife. Oh, and I must have just gotten this from the Crystallion. I honestly always forget about it because I will just tunnel vision on the bell bearing. So let's check those out. Sword fashioned from pure crystal, a deed impossible for a human. Enwreathed with powerful magic, its attack scales with intelligence. The inscrutable Crystallians have but one clear purpose, to safeguard their crystals unto the end. One theory posits that they yearn for the return of their creator who will carve for them new brethren. So this ties into like one of those themes in Elden Ring where birth, rebirth, reproduction, etc. seems to be more tied to things related to gold than the more spectral mind type stuff. Because if Albinaurics are silver and silver comes from night and all that stuff and silver is related to focus and the mind and spirits and glintstones, sorceries and stuff like that, then that would just be in line with how Albinorix need an outside way to reproduce, potentially the same way as Crystallians. I mean, not literally the same way, but figuratively here, and all that. The bloodless creatures like the land octopi can't reproduce, so Crystallians are inorganic beings. They presumably don't have blood, and they also can't reproduce. So a lot of this stuff just kind of does fit together, but we don't really ever get those direct tie-ins, unfortunately. Ethan wants Finger Creeper lore in the DLC since they're found in Volcano Matter and Flame Peak. And they're curious what that might mean in regards to the finger symbology, if anything. And then Chadwick said, Rykard has 6-fingered hands, and so does Godric. That's very suspicious to you. The creepers are closer in look to Rykard, though. So I think Godric definitely grafted them, but I guess it is questionable why Rykard would have grown his extra finger, especially since he was eaten by a snake. Did he already have extra fingers before he was eaten? It doesn't seem so. He looks like pretty normal. I don't remember if we could see his hand on any of his paintings, though. And then Summit Stream said that they dual-wielded the Crystal Sword and the Rotted Crystal Sword in your first playthrough. It's a great weapon, and Spinning Slash is pretty cool, too. Yeah, Elden Ring does have, like, a lot of cool weapons. Can we change the Ash of War on this? I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, I think Crystal Knife is one of the weird ones where it can't be Ash of War changed and needs Somber Smithing Stones to upgrade. Let me double check my notes. So Ivory Sickle, I didn't read that. We got that from the Albinoric Village, is unbuffable. The Crystal Knife isn't buffable. And the Tree Spear, wait, no, the Tree Spear is buffable. Oh, wait, no, these are buffs. So the Clayman's Harpoon can get Ashes of War, but apparently maybe not. Hold on, let me just do this. It'd be easier. My notes were not very clear in what the hell I was thinking at the time. It happens. So it looks like we don't have a Tree Spear. Okay, so that makes things a little bit clearer for me. So the Ivory Sickle can't get an Ash of War, nor can the Crystal Knife. The Troll's Hammer cannot, the Hornbow cannot, and the Tree Spear cannot. I wonder if that's because they're already a certain element. Is the Tree Spear holy? Passive effects doesn't say anything. Oh, yeah, it does deal holy damage. What about the Crystal Knife? Would this be magic? Okay, that might help explain things. Because I know the Troll's Hammer deals fire damage. So maybe they didn't want to give us an Ash of War because they didn't want us to change elemental affinities or give additional elemental affinities to base Ashes of War? That doesn't make sense. I don't know. Oh yeah, and as Summit says, you think they're somber? Sorry, I probably should have elaborated, but all of the somber smithing stone weapons can't get Ashes of War on them. What am I doing? Which is why I was like talking about things that way. 4, 5. Okay. So 5 upgrades worth. And we could probably make that 6 if we go to our little Twin Maiden over here. This would have made the Deathrite Bird a hell of a lot easier to deal with, wouldn't it? And then Emerald Jack, 4200. Nice to see you again. You can use Ashes of War on the Hornbow. You use Enchanted Shot with the Dwelling Arrows all the time. There might have been something else going with it then. Because I just have it marked, but I don't have it exactly clear why I marked it. And then Emily thinks that the gold strands in the DLC trailer, the story one, could potentially be alien in nature. Well, if we think about it, if the Elden Beast is the Elden Ring, and if Marika gets possession of the Elden Ring at that moment in time, you might be able to make that claim that she is pulling out an alien life force, because that could be the Elden Beast itself, which she pulls out. Hey Paisan, yeah, so I had to make a later start to my stream, so that's why I'm going later than normal. But I'm not going to continue too much longer. I just want to probably clear out the Knight Cavalry in Liurnia that I haven't fought yet, and then probably stop there. I have another bell bearing. Oh yeah. Up to +6? Wait. Isn't this enough? So I think I need the next tier. I wasn't paying attention. Actually, this will make it clearer. Okay, yeah, so I'm pretty much boned on my upgrade mats. Yeah, because I need 2 more of this tier 3 ones. Okay, so we're good there. So I'm going to rest just in case Hugh says something else. I think it's too early for his no line, but we'll see.
Oh, your divinity, have mercy and grant me forgiveness. The road is yet long, a god is not easily felled. But one day without fail you will have your wish. So please grant me forgiveness, Queen Marika.
Alright, so this does confirm that Marika wants a god killed, and he has another line of dialogue later out in the game where it's the no one. So we can ask him about his prayers and whatnot.
You, is it? I didn't notice you there. I'll be doing my job, same as ever. Just lay out your arms. Those words were not meant for you. I may be prisoner to you, tarnished lot. But my prayers are mine, and mine alone. Well, I've had my say. I'll be more careful too.
Alright, so that should be it with his dialogue for here. I still don't think I have a higher tier Ghost Glovewort.
Are you here for spirit, Chief?
Or just Glovewort, Brave Glovewort. To get her apprenticeship complete. Okay, so that's that. Now, what was I doing? Oh yeah, the Knight Cavalryman. It's morning now though, rip. Alright. It's perfect for Orna. It's almost 9 a.m. here and you could finally catch the stream live. It is really late for me right now. So I'm a little bit running on fumes. Unfortunately. He says he knew a spirit tuner with green eyes once, perhaps Ronnie? I don't think Ronnie's meant to have green eyes. Personally. Let's go to Knight. And then Pony said, is it possible the Elden Beast didn't willingly become the Elden Ring and was instead slain and confined into the ring as a locus of power? Oh yeah, it's definitely possible. We just don't have anything to like really build that up, unfortunately. And then Emily said, you see, people usually assume the god to be slain is Radagon, but could it be the greater will itself? I don't know, because I don't think you could really hit the greater will with a normal weapon. So I think the most likely one could have been the Elden Beast. Because when you do kill the Elden Beast, we get the god slain dialogue prompt to show up. My mans was oblivious. He's cheating. Alright, so if I go to that side, I can punish him from the rear up. That was way too early of a roll on my part. Oh yeah, I'm probably going to kill this one a lot faster because of the upgraded weapon. Still in my animation there. No, I'm just being sloppy. That specter scared the crap out of me with the statue behind it. That's what I get. There we go. That's why I was being reckless, because I thought I was close to this. Oh, that was awkward. I don't think I can actually backstab him, which I was trying to do for the memes. Oh, that was a little bit further out than I expected. I got stuck on this tree. That's gonna hurt. Doesn't matter if it hurts though. Just gotta win. Okay, you can backstab him? Okay, so I did have a memory of that then. Now we get the super cool Giant Hunt Ash of War, as well as the Knight Rider Glaive. Our first actual look into the lore. Oh no, we got their flail before, didn't we? Does Renala have green eyes? No, she has like bluish eyes, or was it like purple? Not like purple. Her eyes are like really, really vivid. I can look up a screenshot. I can't share my screenshot, but I can tell you a color at the very least. So they're like grayish blue. Eladili wants more knowledge of Hugh in the DLC. He seems to deeply care about achieving America's goals, and not for the sake of getting freedom or anything like that. Well, one of the questions is the reason because of his curse that he feels that way? Because it does, like, those curses given by the gods do eat away at their bearers. And then Elden has always had trouble wondering if the lands between worship the greater will along with Marika. So it seems like there was two-finger worship, which is essentially an extension of greater will worship that seems to have been like moved away from, more specifically perhaps during the time of Radagon's ascension to Elden Lord. Refuse to become versus refuse to continue to be. Interesting. All right. That's a good thought to end things on right there. All right, everybody. So tomorrow on stream, I think we're going to start off with finishing the Hayata stuff, then like the Frenzied Flame and Black Knife stuff, and then probably Raya Lucaria. Because I got the Bell Bearing, and then maybe before Raya Lucaria, I might go to Caria Manor instead to talk to Iji and whatnot. Okay, yeah. All right, Elden, I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's go ahead and end things here for tonight. Sorry for the late stream and the, delay for starting the stream and everything. But, yeah. We should be going live at the same time tomorrow, assuming everything doesn't poop the bed, at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hopefully we will catch you then on the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe. Last Protagonist out.